If you play a puka, everything that comes out of your mouth. Pukas are really challenging to play as.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're a puka, whatever you say, one thing in the sentence every time you speak has to be a lie. Has to be a lie. So if somebody says, "Are you okay?" you have to say, "Yes, yes, I'm fine."
What?
What's that?
We're online.
We're online.
Yay!
Everybody. Oh, okay. So I'll finish the story later. But Changeling is a great game. There was a lot of great games that I was going to run.
Let's play it.
So I think because we're running into the episode here, we're already 30 minutes in. Thank you guys so much for being patient with us. We're just working through technical issues. Twitch has been up for a while. We've been doing this for a while, but sometimes equipment doesn't give a damn about how veteran you are, and we have to
It humbles us all.
Yes,
Yeah.
but because we got a rad crew over here that's fixing stuff up, we're good to go.
Good
All right.
crew!
Can we go ahead and start? Can we go ahead and start our game? They're working on this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait.
I want to play the Changeling game with you.
It's rad. Yeah, I would love to run it.
Yeah,
It's so
so
good.
I have a round robin for people then.
What's that?
What game have you not played or are not playing? Like, what kind of game would you want to play right now? What is not in your RPG diet that you would like to have a table of?
That right there. That game.
Good question.
Because I want a game where we get to play
7th Sea.
Faye.
Yeah, we need to get you a 7th C game.
I want to run
dog.
piracy so bad.
It's been so long since I had a proper D&D game.
Just
That's
nice.
what I was about to say. I just bought all the new books so I can just play
Oh, yay,
regular ass
yes.
D&D.
Yeah, you're playing.
Yeah, we'll do it
yeah.
someday. You'll have to join our office game, which, by the way, Sax has been talking about the possibility of streaming. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know yet.
I know. I'm with you there. Sometimes you just want a game to yourself, so you can say
Yeah,
all the things
totally.
you would normally probably
Just
can't
be
say on the
really
stream.
unprofessional and like ears.
Yeah.
That's what I'm most excited
Yeah.
about.
Sam almost killed me in our last office game because I'm playing a dwarf and Sam's playing a half orc, so you can see where this is going.
A hair trigger.
Hair trigger half orc.
Hilarious.
Anyway.
Amazing.
Half orc paladin
So
of vengeance.
we're gonna see if we can get started here, guys, because we got. Thankfully, we can still get in everything I had planned for today. We're not over, but can we go ahead and start the game? Are we good to go?
Yes.
Okay,
Sam, what was your answer?
All right.
we're good. We're gonna go ahead and start the game today.
I was tweeting about this yesterday, but I just got the quick start guide for the Green Ronin Game of Thrones RPG. I really want to play like one of those like Jackson style, but for Game of Thrones.
Are you guys ready?
Intrigue, just take
Amazing.
over Westeros. Like everyone intriguing all the time because I love those shows
Scheming Sam.
so much. Always schemes, always diplomacy, always backstabs.
Okay,
Same game.
so if we're good to go, and crew seems to seem they are telling us we're good to go, so we're just gonna go ahead and launch into the game.
Game time.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go. So last we left off, Roko was waking up. If you remember, the last moments that we left the last game was after that crazy adventure, and we had to jump around. And you guys, I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted because I can hear myself. I can hear everything that's going on a little bit. So, so last game after the crazy adventure that you guys had inside the vault, where you lost one of your beloved party members, and then the Corsair seemingly sacrificed herself to get you all out of there, thoroughly decimating 20 TGs and a Hail Mary holy shit strike of grenades and teleportation. Everything was lost. The facility was coming down around your ears. The place was about to implode. You were at the center of the planet. You couldn't leave because you had to finish closing the terror, which you managed to do. You managed to confront Rassilon face to face for the very first time. You guys, at the last possible second, you were saved by Roko. Apparently, the TARDIS appeared when it probably shouldn't have been able to, and managed to slide on in there and get you guys out just as the place was coming down around. You managed to get Velig out. Gina made damn sure, Finn made damn sure to get Velig out of there. You guys,
We're still
Got
inside
in
the
the-
biases.
yeah, you guys went inside. You guys are if you remember correctly, you guys, the TARDIS landed right in front of the Master's old lair inside Leviathan. So meaning that the Master's thing has been shut down.
We don't know. We don't know when it happened.
It's true. Yeah,
It's timey-wimey.
it's very true. It's a little timey-wimey. So, yeah. So let me just set this up, but we're going to start off with Roko, you laying in Finn's arms, and Doctor, you have just witnessed Roko pull themselves out of the consciousness of the TARDIS.
What would I
Yeah.
have seen? We've landed. Door opens. Roko's becoming conscious again.
Yes. So you guys have landed. Roko
Yeah, they
basically.
became conscious last game.
Yeah.
'Cause I was talking
Roko's
to her.
eyes flitted open, and you saw movement, and that was
Right. Yes.
yeah.
So I've just been watching you two have that conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you're reorganizing the library. I have no idea. Yes,
It's organized perfectly.
we have a very good librarian.
Right. How exactly did we get here?
Roko, as the doctor's asking this question, you begin to feel suddenly. It takes you a moment because you've come back to your body, and as you're sitting there looking up at the familiar face of Finn and Duncan, everyone's kind of leaning over to see if you're okay. You feel another presence, a very familiar presence that you weren't sure you were going to ever feel again, but it is undoubtedly the presence of Leviathan, this ancient creature that is older than probably predates this universe. And you feel that same ancient warmth. Again, just, it's there. It's all around you.
I was hoping we'd get back to the whale. Is that where we are then?
I believe it is.
A clock strikes inside. Ding, ding.
From where?
You're inside the Master's lair. Am I correct? Didn't you guys go inside?
Did we?
I believe you did. I believe you guys went inside the Master's lair. Okay.
No.
Then in that case,
I went
You're in
running
the TARDIS.
around in madness.
oh, that's right. You ran out the
and
front
then
door.
I came back inside.
Thank you for reminding me.
Lying down in the TARDIS the whole time.
Okay.
I believe when
So
we
you're
flew
inside
open
the
the door.
Go
TARDIS.
outside and say hello though.
Mhm.
To Leviathan.
But just as a quick note,
Yes.
where were you just now?
Roko, it's still a little fuzzy. Because remember when you woke up, it felt like you were forgetting a dream you just had.
Yeah.
But there is one thing that's sticking into your mind, a message you were given.
Yes. That everything has an end, and everything has a beginning. I think everything's starting to go so fuzzy. It was so beautiful and scary and sad.
Right, so
But you
you
were
were
with-
with more water.
You were with her, right?
Yes, she kept me safe.
She kept you safe. I don't know why I'm being so indirect about this. You just saved all of our lives.
What? Nonsense. I was just having a dream.
Well done.
This one a hell of a dream.
Of course it was. You were in it.
Well, we could ask questions about that, but
I am not a human. I am not a Time Lord. I am not a TARDIS, so I'm not as filthy.
why not? It's tons of fun.
Mm.
For some. So, do you have any idea why you've brought us here?
Well, if there were any place I would like to go that still exists, it would be with her.
Right. Let's take a look around, shall we?
Space whale.
All right. So you're going to open the door to the TARDIS and step out. Stepping out into Leviathan, it looks like some years have passed, possibly. You're not sure? You're not sure exactly. This place just looks a little different. It looks like some time has passed. So the earth around the entrance to this place looks like it's kind of covered up a little bit of some of the debris that the master had laying out in front of this place. But you do see the old door.
Duncan had a good point last week that
What's
I
that?
was not acknowledging.
What's that? What's that?
Do we see the remnants at all of the flowers that I planted?
So you actually didn't plant those here. You planted those where the TARDIS was originally parked.
All right.
But you can go looking for them for sure. For sure.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that's where we want to be, so I'm following the doctor anyway.
Yeah, well, you're standing in front of the master's lair essentially, but you do see the same old, like debris laying out front. But most of it looks like it's been laying here for a long time.
Real quick, this isn't relevant necessarily, but what happened to the Eulokia again? I can't remember that.
It wasn't in there at all.
What
nothing
what
was
was
there
discovered
the
is that
entire time.
nobody was in those jail cells down there. Nobody was in the vaults at all.
That could well have
They
been
were
the
either cleared
fireworks.
out. You're not sure, but essentially, when you guys got there,
Yeah. It was just
you don't know if your buddy who sent you down there, Mr. Blue Man, you don't know if he knew about this or not.
He's getting a punch in the nose either way.
Still gonna,
I've got my punch in the nose in the first
still gonna
place.
give him an attitude adjustment.
Ever advocate violence?
Well, we
Just a
might.
little violence.
I would never advocate violence. But yeah.
But yeah, the master's door is in front of you. It looks like some passage of time has taken place. For the most part, the door, the only thing to indicate that the door has undergone a passage of time is the dust that's collected upon it. Otherwise, it looks just the same as it did.
May I say hello?
Sure. Do you want to reach out and touch someone? All right. So it was an old slogan.
GMs are filthy.
That was an old AT&T slogan from like the 80s. It's telephones. Reach out and touch someone. Yeah.
Telecommunications are filthy.
Wow.
So, yeah. Don't you remember that from Bill and Ted's? When he's like, let's reach out and touch someone. All right.
Yeah, I just didn't know what. I
It's
just
that.
didn't realize it was
I didn't know that was a reference.
Oh, yeah. No. Back in the day.
when people didn't understand innuendo.
No, not so much.
That's
So-
what she said hadn't been invented yet.
That's right.
I'll just be gone for a second.
Roko, what you discover the moment you close your eyes and try to make a psychic connection is you feel a wave of exhaustion hit you immediately. It's not from Leviathan, it's you. Your journey through the TARDIS's consciousness back has literally the way your arms get to start feeling like rubber after doing a lot of presses.
I don't understand.
The way you feel when you come out of the gym after kicking some ass, your psychic potential is feeling that sort of workout exhaustion. And the moment it's like sputter, like you feel the connections, but it almost feels like sound cutting in and out almost. And you can feel Leviathan is there and aware of you. That much you know. It seems like Leviathan is aware that you're all here again. But that's all you're able to get before you literally just kind of...
Oh my.
Alright, that's enough out of you.
I suppose so.
You stay in there.
I'm
Got
gonna,
it?
I'm gonna obliviously
Right.
walk in.
Okay. You step into the master's lair. The door just opens up, and the place looks like it's been uninhabited for a long time, but it looks relatively the same. A few things have changed, like there's some stacks here and there, like maybe someone's lived here and gone through things for a bit. You do remember the master left somebody in charge that comes by apparently still from time to time, but for the most part it looks like everybody has stayed away from this place.
Is there a labyrinth circuit?
On the bookshelf where it was kept, you do see what's left of the labyrinth circuit.
Is it
What's
solved?
left of?
It's not active.
Was anyone else a bit hoping he'd be here?
Just hoping
Right.
there was
I'm not sure.
I'm just so complicated.
Right, where are we? I mean, I know we're in the whale, but where are we? I was in prison, remember?
Thank you.
Right.
right.
I don't understand.
This is the master's house. Welcome.
This is his TARDIS.
Yeah.
It's filthy.
Yeah.
Just like
He was
him.
pretending to be an old professor, someone I'd actually met.
I
Uh,
remember the professor, but
Well, it turns out that the actual professor was a little bit murdered and replaced by the master.
Right.
Charming.
also not surprising.
Complicated man.
The door opens up, and you see Zeeps leans in to the door and goes, "Hi, sorry, is it okay if I come in?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Come on.
Sorry,
Stay with us.
I just didn't want to be in the control room anymore."
What's wrong with the
Alright.
control room?
Velig's there.
Right.
I just didn't want to be with,
No, I understand.
Alright.
Well, why do you suppose the TARDIS brought us here? I mean, could it be more than just this is where Roko wants
Endings
to
and
be?
beginnings.
Well, there's certainly being here might have been something I'd done, but
Mm-hmm.
being now, perhaps.
Very good question.
I
Yeah.
I'd
wonder
like
if-
to take.
Oh, I'm so
I'd
sorry,
like
Doctor.
to. No. I'd like to take a look around. And this is what I want to do out of character. I want to look around the room for, now that we know what this is and who was here, I want to look for like records or weaknesses on Rassilon and the power structure on Gallifrey. Now that we know whose office this was.
Okay. Go ahead and let's make a roll here, because you're basically going to be searching around. And as I jump into the roll, I'm just going to take a moment to once again thank our audience for being so patient with us during our technical difficulties today, because I know we kind of started late.
We love you.
All right, so this will be.
And that'll be a thing I just absolutely start doing while I prompt you to say whatever it is you're about to say.
Okay. So make your. Oh, I'm going to say make an awareness. You know what? I'm going to say awareness knowledge check. This is to find out if the doctor would know where the master, like to try to put together where the master might keep stuff like that.
All right. How are we on points today?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Yes, I actually had this written down. So you're going to be maxed out on your points.
Lovely.
Actually, everybody maxes out.
Okay.
So you should be back up to 12 if you didn't have 12. Since you're not a Time Lord. So everybody's not a Time Lord gets 12.
And
points.
2 to share?
What's that?
And 2 to
And
share?
2 to share,
Excellent.
as always. 2 to share. Real quick, I also want to emphasize this real quick as we move into the final stages of this game. One thing we've been doing a lot of in this game, and I was kind of telling Duncan about this before, we've been using story points a lot to get bonus rolls to dice. We've kind of shied away from using story points for one of their big changing the narrative. So it kind of lets you guys be the DM or GM, as
But
it were.
you're such a good DM.
But you could say so feel free to like burn story points to throw it. I mean, I get
Right.
veto power, but you can still throw in story points, and I won't let, like, if you throw something at me that's not going to work, I'm not going to let, you're not going to waste your story points, you know what I mean? But feel free to do that, because those are designed to help you basically play a Doctor Who character, because they're always coming up with wacky shit on the spot and everything just seems to work out. So don't forget, because in these last 2 games, I'm just giving you heads up. I'm going to be burning story points against you guys. So feel free to burn them right back.
So actually, technically, rather than searching the room right now, I could spend a story point or 2
You
to
could spend
find.
you could spend like 2 or 3 story points to find something on Rassilon. Do you know what I mean? You can alter narratives.
Right.
You
I
could
think
just
that actually.
you could be
I've
like,
already
I
declared
stop
the
and
role,
look.
but is this
Yeah.
okay to take back?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So depending on how many you spend will determine what it is you find. And what it is you're looking
It's fun
for.
to see if your dice go with you.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of fun to that.
No, but see, and things like that, things like following a complication and putting yourself at a disadvantage, or putting or deciding to roll instead of anything else. That's a way to gain story points, because it just makes the game that much more exciting. So
But I will spend 2
story points.
story points. The doctor starts just rummaging around the room and lifting old things of tea.
You freeze as you're lifting a thing of tea, in your head you just decide to slowly look to the right, and you see a small blue book about this tall, about this big. It has a pressed cover. It looks very familiar. The pressed cover almost looks like the front of a TARDIS. The pages look like they're old, and a lot of them kind of uneven. But you realize you've seen this thing before. You've seen it before. You're kind of staring at it for a second. It feels like it shouldn't be here, but things start to slowly click. And didn't you see River holding this at one point? In fact, didn't she always carry this with her?
That's odd.
What is it, Doctor?
It's River's notebook. I'm not supposed to look at this.
It's the Journal of River Song.
If you can't, I'll do it.
Right, don't tell me anything. That seems fair.
Right.
Okay. Oh man.
You're about to open River's mouth.
Gina,
Yeah.
ready for a first?
Yeah.
I need you to come over here so I can whisper in your ear.
Yeah! This is so exciting!
Yeah.
What's it doing
Whispers
here?
time.
Where did River go? At least you all still remember her.
But do we?
I think we checked last time.
Yes.
Do you
Yes,
still?
we still remember River.
No.
You will.
I'm
We still remember River. It's okay. She's still around. I'm totally fine with that. Hey, just because someone is a jerk doesn't mean they don't deserve to be a part of this world. If every jerk were gone, it would be a very lonely universe.
There'd be like 10 people left.
What is that walk?
Fuck you, Sidian. That is I wish I didn't know.
I'm not so
things
sure about that.
you guys don't know.
Spoilers!
No, it's not. It's not like necessarily bad. It's just I know things that you guys don't, and I feel uncomfortable about that.
So Gina,
Yeah.
as Finn's reading this,
Yeah.
it's not being read like it's happened, but it's being read like all signs point to.
Mm-hmm.
Because the nature of paradox is kind of like throwing things into like theoreticals at this point. But a lot of this journal is stuff that has happened. So you're actually getting an idea of what River has been through and some of the adventures of the Doctor just flipping through it. But when you read this part, what also occurs to you, just from what you knowing from being with the Doctor, is that it's entirely possible that revealing what you've just read could also have an effect
Yeah.
that, quite frankly, is beyond the understanding of someone who doesn't have the mind of a Time Lord. Like, it just occurs to you, you're holding a bomb, basically, as you're reading this.
Pretending this is the book. Right. This is useless. No one read that.
Just put it back on the bookshelf.
Yep.
Shoves it back in there.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
You will
There's nothing important in that. We have a mission to do.
really have to try much harder to deceive me.
I ain't deceiving nothing. What's in that book? We don't need to know.
I'm just glad you all still remember her. Right.
If you say it, I trust you. Always will.
What do you
But I'm so
say to
curious.
that?
I know.
What do you say to that? I want to know, but
Of course we do.
Finn has just learned the price of knowing things that you probably should never know.
This is how you always feel.
It's...
Well, usually I get to know the things, but yes.
Time for a bit of your own medicine, I suppose.
It's unpleasant. But that's generally River's effect. She
Quite.
does surprise me.
Oh, I thought it was that she's unpleasant.
You're cheeky today.
Oh, maybe the TARDIS had that effect on me.
I've wanted to look at that book for an awfully long time. It's a bit cruel to just have it sitting there.
Why is
Quick, distract me.
sitting there?
Somebody find... What? That's a very good question, actually.
Perhaps.
Where did you go?
Well,
Town.
she did say
That's
she'd
where we
be
found her
right
last
back.
well, it dropped us off right here. It's never steered us wrong yet. I feel as though there must be some
I'm gonna keep
reason.
that book in my possession, by the way.
You just kind
I
of
throw
glance
it on
over at
the
it
I threw
again.
it on the table, but
Oh,
And
you
you walk
put it on
back
the
over,
table?
but it's more like a people are. Someone might read it.
You take it.
So it's just like it was a throwdown. Don't anyone look at it, and then it's like.
A few moments later, you just pick it up.
The last
Stick it
time
in
we
the cup.
found River here, she was in the town. Maybe that's
It's true.
So, Roko, the more you're coming back to yourself, the more you're realizing, like, the more the question gets asked, the more you're realizing that your general theory was actually correct. That if you were functioning off of subconsciousness at that point, like instinct, then when you were bonded with the TARDIS, it's likely the reason why you came here was because it was safe ground. And that the TARDIS was probably pulled through the vortex to come to Leviathan, because there's something about this creature that, as a being that is constantly in contact and connected to living things that are around you, Leviathan might be one of those origin of the life kind of creatures. It's so old. It might be one of the first things in the universe that ever lived. It's so old. And as a result of that, it's almost like a progenitor creature of living things. So, what your suspicion is, as the question continues to come up, like, and you're kind of toiling it over in your mind, just to answer the question, you're getting the feeling that that's what led the TARDIS back here, since you were connected to the TARDIS still. It was like you ran it was like running and hiding under the bed kind of thing. You ran for safe ground, and the TARDIS brought you here.
She said there's always a beginning. Leviathan is... Well, I know she's a progenitor of space whales, but more than that. That's quite a beginning, isn't it?
So you think we're here for a reason?
I think everyone is where they are at all times for a reason.
Right. Can you
We're not
narrow it
accepting.
down a bit?
Perhaps not as well as the Time Lord? I'm just an overcall, I don't...
Just an overcall. Listen to Roko. No one has ever done anything like what you've done.
I mean, I think we've done pretty well. I mean, just an electrician saved the universe.
Yeah, that was...
Just saying.
He's right, you know.
Save the universe!
Just
And
a
I mean,
pirate, sail the times.
As
Space
if
continuum.
sailing on a ship and being a pirate queen wasn't awesome enough.
Oh, right.
I'm just saying.
You came to hunt
yeah.
a giant monster and instead you've saved it.
Well, let's be fair though. Mostly I've just said, "Oh my god," every time something happens. That's kind of my contribution.
See,
But
we
you've been
wouldn't want to be
pretty
here without you.
invaluable a couple of times, though, mate. Don't sell yourself short.
I'm more a support more than anything, I think.
Well, you helped out on
Don't
on the
sell
island,
yourself
didn't
short
you?
on Dead Reef.
You still owe us a story.
Right, did I not tell you when I got drunk? I thought I did. Maybe I don't know, I was
Maybe.
also drunk.
Maybe that's why they don't remember.
It was a good dinner.
I don't want to ruin the vibes, but what do we want to do about our friend?
I think
he deserves the best send-off we could possibly give him. Where would he want to be?
let's look up. What do Centaurans do with their dead?
Perhaps.
Like
I
Finn-
did look this up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do Centaurans do with the dead?
Yeah.
I would have to look that up as a game master, but my suspicion is, because I actually don't know off the
I
top of
think
my head.
Gina
but I
just
sus-
declared this last week.
No, I looked it up.
Oh,
And
did you?
I don't remember what I said before, but it was generally like
Didn't have the
a
opportunity to do
normal
that.
Yeah,
sort
I'm
of
just prompting.
burial process.
That's what I thought too, because I seem to remember talking to Darren about this.
Yeah, it
And I
was,
seem to remember
it's
that we were-
It's a normal
Yeah.
sort of standard.
We've
Are they picky about where?
We
Are they picky about where?
I have a thought. We've been to Sontar.
Yeah.
To the end of Sontar. There's probably a library there.
You know what? The last Centauran returns to Sontar.
Sounds right to me.
it's got to be done.
You've stopped the universe unraveling for the moment, so I think we can justify this. Let's-
Alright. So in the meantime, what are we doing here, love?
How is my psychic feeling?
Am I starting to...
It's the same. Like you're just feeling the journey through the heart of the TARDIS is like that should have probably killed you. At the very least, it would have ended your consciousness form as it is now and scattered you throughout all space-time. But as it stands, that did not happen. So you're really feeling wiped. It only that wave of exhaustion only comes over Roko whenever they try to use the psychic power. Like every time you try to tap into it, you immediately feel like, oh, it's like trying to stand or trying to like hit. In your case, like you know how we always watch you do like handstands against the wall. Imagine doing that after you. Sam does that. Sam will just randomly do a full-on press handstand against the wall. So you know how you do that? Imagine benching for hours and then like trying to go bench yourself. It's like it's there. The strength is there, but it's
Right,
not.
not at the moment.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
doing
just
on-set muscle
it's
bonus.
yeah,
But yeah, that means I can't pop a precog to figure out what we should do.
yeah. pop a
So
So we're
precog.
looking for River? Is that what we're doing?
I mean, really, honestly, to just give you guys a heads up of the status of things, you closed the last rip in space-time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Rassilon is still at large and still apparently in control of Gallifrey.
Yeah.
Not the only one.
Yeah. There's one other person out there that you don't know if you're ever going to see again or what role he is yet to play, but Davros is also still at large.
Once.
And you have Velig, who is to receive a proper send-off, and you do have the variable of River, and you don't know what's going on with that.
Right. I do need just a little bit more, like, what effect has it had to finish closing the breaches? What-
So far, you're not sure, but you might go looking to find out what changes have happened. The TARDIS could probably tell you a few things,
Yeah.
but where you've seen the most disruptions because of your time spent there was back on Earth.
Yeah.
So
So, in theory, paradox energy is no longer rampaging across things.
they're still present because, I mean, it did happen.
Yeah.
And especially because Cillian is still emanating. Cillian seems to still have an aura of paradox about him.
You said it was
It's-
dimming.
It's dimmed.
Okay.
If it's dimming, it's so micro, it's so like
Okay.
infinitesimal that you're not seeing it, but it does seem to have diminished greatly.
But we stopped the chain reaction that was taking down every known universe.
That's the theory, because there were only these 3 tears, and you have now closed all of them. Supposedly,
Was there
if
a message in the third one?
there was,
We
you
were a bit
didn't-
busy, so I
you
think
were
I
a bit
got to
busy.
check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not dying.
But yeah, so those are your options, and that's the place probably to look if you want to see more changes or what's changed.
The place to look is ask the TARDIS, or go back to Earth.
Earth is a good because that's such familiar territory. You're going to know exactly what's going on there,
Yeah.
and you've already got a good basis, especially with Duncan, Cillian's like life there. Like you all have a pretty good basis of what would and would not be, normal.
May
For
we
this reality.
declare that we've returned the last son of Sontar, or should we play it out?
It's up to you guys. If you guys want to say that if you guys want to just narrate that you have a final, if you want to say a few words, and
Right, we can cut to the moment that we're all saying words.
yeah, totally,
Mhm.
yeah, absolutely.
Alright.
It's the game we can totally do that. Yeah. So what we do now is we find our companions and the Doctor standing on an overlook near the last city of the Sontarn Empire. It's the overgrown, again, the primal beauty of this place cannot be overstated. The skies, the sounds of the life that an entirely new ecosystem has evolved. And Doctor, just from your journeys through time and space, you know that even though the Sontarans are gone, this planet is in the process of beginning again. And in a few million years, there's going to be a whole new civilization, a whole new race of beings with their own questions about the universe and their own desires, filled with their own nightmares, the same way you've seen Earth evolve. It is always a little awe-inspiring to you as you're standing on this primal, this plane, this overlook over this jungle world. And there's a good chance that the people that will live here in the future will look back and perhaps one day ask questions about the relics that they find of the Sontarans. And you are standing over the freshly created burial site of Velig. Zeeps is standing next to you, and Zeeps is not handling it too well. Meatstick, who's just a few feet away, is emotionless because it's Meatstick. But he is watching quietly. K9, however, has his head dipped and has been uncharacteristically quiet. And that's where we are as you guys kind of stand over. When this whole adventure began, Velig was there. And you can't help, Doctor, but start flashing back to all of the moments, all the impulsive singing, that bombastic voice, the most inopportune moments where Velig would just shout things right when he should not be shouting things. That horrible moment when he shot Meatstick, but the friendship that those two gained afterwards, miraculously. all of it's just coming back and reminding you again that there is no black and white in the universe. It's just reminding you again that a Centauran, a warrior, even though he was a librarian, a clone that was hell-bent on destroying in the name of the Centauran Empire, became the first librarian of the TARDIS and refused to raise a weapon at the moment of his death. Reminds you again that everything is dynamic. And a single label will never work for a living being.
May I?
Absolutely.
Velig, you were the first alien I ever met, and from the first moment I met you, you threatened my life and would go on to do so many, many times over the time that we knew each other, and you terrified me. You scared the hell out of me. You made me uncomfortable, but you also made me laugh, and you also, through everything that you went through, made me realize that I can do anything. Anything. I'm really proud to have known you, Velig.
Would either of you like to say anything?
I just labeled death.
This cannon, as you lay it down next to him, it just kind of like it sinks almost. I mean, this gun is so heavy. Mm-hmm. As you're holding it with your human arm, you're like you've never really understood how it was a Centauran could just one arm this with its organic arm, but there it is. You lay this thing down next to him and just.
Right, love. Do you mind if I borrow a flower?
Mm-hmm.
I want to put the flower.
Okay.
Well, I want to take 2 flowers. One I want to put on Velig, and one in the muzzle of the gun.
Okay.
I'll just help them bloom along a little bit.
Yeah, you can already tell that in a few years, this will have seeded, and both the gun and this mound will just be a patch of wildflowers.
I've said an awful lot of goodbyes in my time. They don't get any easier, it turns out. But you can go all through time and space and dimensions, and it still turns out you can meet. People can surprise you. Velig, when I met you, neither of us knew who we were. But you were more yourself in that moment than I think you'd ever been before. Because you helped us, and that's who you were. You were a son of Santar to the end. And I hope you were proud. Because the rest of us were just quite bowled over by you. To learn kindness and sacrifice from a Centauran. One lifetime wasn't enough. But thank you, Velig, for coming on this journey with us.
The universe has rippled, but you will always be remembered.
Mr. Velig, first librarian of the TARDIS.
When with that, K9 comes forward and says, "Goodbye, friend." And you hear a clinking sound as a little compartment rolls out and an empty hand grenade rolls across the ground, coming to a rest near the pile, reminding you that that's the ball that they were throwing back and forth with each other as K9 finally returns it to him.
I laugh in character.
Don't actually like, put my arm around Meat Stick because I'm pretty sure it would be broken. But I just sort of stand nearby him and look up and try to be a comforting presence for him.
Okay. Meat Stick's head just kind of tilts a little to the right, and he just continues to watch. But there's no sign that the Ood is exhibiting any sadness. It's more of just like an observing.
Can I give that an empathy check?
Sure.
Yeah.
Tell
While
me
they're
what
all
you get.
standing around, I'm just slowly backing away and looking at them. No longer at Veleg. Looking
Okay.
at my friends.
25.
25.
Yes.
Okay. Even with it strains a little bit as you're using your psychic potential again. You're just using empathy?
Yeah.
Oh, you're
I'm
just
empathetic
looking
too.
at him to see if there's any trace.
I'm just
Oh, I thought you were using your psychic power.
No.
Okay.
That's just
Um,
me being empathic.
It's really it perhaps it's a testament to. In fact, perhaps this gives you a better idea of who Meat Stick really is. But there is no emotion coming from him. None. It kind of drives home for a brief moment when you're watching him that this creature, Meat Stick, despite how everyone's kind of, for lack of a better way of describing it, anthropomorphized him, you know what I mean? Kind of like humanized him a little bit. The truth is, Roko, that coldness that you get when you look at Meat Stick as he's watching, it drives home that even though he's a companion and a friend, Meat Stick is a living weapon. And while there may have been redemption for Veleg, it really just occurs to you that he is still a variable. Even though he's on your side, as he observes Veleg's grave, there's still an uncertainty to him. And for a split moment, Roko, it almost feels like you just lost another friend as you're coming to this realization. Like you're waking up to the fact that Meat Stick is as charming as Mercer has made him. Meat Stick really is. He has. You're not sure if he's too far gone or what, but he is just a living weapon.
Who did this to you?
Who did what to me?
Who made you different? Who changed you?
I have no memory of how I came to be the way I am, but I'm not sure that I'm different. I am Meat Stick.
Is there an Ood corporation here?
I have not been made aware of an Ood corporation. Would you like me to find them and kill them, Doctor?
No, that won't be necessary.
You've had some memories. I've seen them. You showed me.
Some.
Ever a face? Of a person?
Many faces. Some I have removed.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
We've been running from place to place so much, I never got a chance to find out where I come from. The Ood, all of you, had been hurt. You had been made less than you were. It's wrong.
I have no... And in mid-sentence, there's a... like a slashing sound in the air that's almost shattering. And for a moment, you realize it's the sound of a vortex manipulator coming into being. Like someone's arriving. Like a... And standing a few feet away, looking a little haggard, is River Song. Appearing right next to you, just I guess about 10 feet away, and right next to her is a very familiar looking face, Doctor, that you have not seen in some time, neither of you, but there is a very dashing, handsome man in a coat with a gun at his side, looking a little haggard as well. And you may now enter if you so choose, but flashing into existence is none other than Captain Jack Harkness standing right next to River Song.
Hello there.
And River just... we need to get that thing looked at.
Next time, why don't you just warn me before we go all... Wow. Where are we?
I don't even know. She leans over and then she's... I'm gonna be sick. I'm sorry. And she goes to a tree and you see a lizard creature that was on the tree just scamper away quickly as she just leans over and just starts throwing up.
Ooh. Okay, not good.
Well, hello!
Hi!
There had to be one of you around here somewhere.
Ha! Captain Jack Harkness.
We've met.
I think I will remember this.
Oh
little
my
ensemble.
god, you hear River say, please no, this is my nightmare. Please don't. Please no.
Why? I'm just saying hello.
I'm the doctor.
Sure you are. I...
Jack. River looks at you and goes, she's the doctor.
Doctor! I always hoped you went both ways, but this is just amazing.
Phrasing.
Please don't start. So Jack, just to give you some real quick backstory.
Yeah.
Up until this point, you were under the impression the doctor was dead.
And it was Tennant.
The director had been the doctor had been killed in this reality, and has been dead for some time. Was assassinated by an agent of Rassilon. You don't realize it's actually River, but that's for
She
another
was being mind controlled.
episode.
It's not
Oh,
safe.
really?
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, don't worry. She was under mind control. It's another episode. It's a whole can of worms.
Yeah, it was 10.
Oh, wow.
He
Okay.
was killed
Okay.
fighting the crazy...
David Tennant, number 10, was killed trying to stop Rassilon, and Amy jumped in and blah, blah, blah. Long story. This is like that moment in Buffy where what's it called? Where Xander and what's Seth Green's character's name again? Oz. Remember where Oz sees the vampires for the first time and he's like, whoa, whoa. He's like freaking out. And Xander, who's just so tired of constantly telling people, he goes, yes, vampires are real. Most of them live in Sunnydale. Moving on. It's kind of the same thing here, where he's just like, yes, this is the doctor. Like, everything's cool. But yeah, you've been operating that your good friend, the doctor, has been dead for some years. And so River...
So that sentence makes no sense.
Yes, so it's just like... So River goes, it's the doctor. She's from another reality. She's jumped in. It was a whole big scheme from the Master. There couldn't be two doctors existing in the same
Wait, the
universe because
Master?
It's a long story. He's not around anymore, thank God. At least I don't think he is. Is he here?
Not that we know of, no.
Thank
Are
God.
you alright? Where did you go?
I went to get him.
Well done. Captain Jack, these are some people I think you'll quite like.
Have you already done the heist? Sorry to interrupt.
It went... Well,
We didn't have a heist. We weren't robbing a bank.
it's true.
We're too late. I told you you needed to get that thing fixed.
Right, Captain, you look exactly the same.
Oh,
The
yeah,
same
that's
as
right.
what?
The two of you. Yeah, that's right. There's a recognition suddenly clicking on.
You don't look too bad yourself. And both of you... Wow. It has been a while. Not since Pompeii, right? Got away that one time after that jailbreak? Man, that was...
Things were pretty lovely.
Poppy?
I mean, you know.
By the way,
One bomb,
Jack, you
never
also
touch it
realized that
Yeah.
Finn has a very powerful looking cybernetic arm attached to their body. She looks quite hardcore.
Okay, now that is new. 'Cause last time we were in the baths, that was not a thing.
Yeah, I
The
got
best!
a bit upgraded, as it were.
I never mind a bit of an upgrade.
What have you been up to in this universe?
What are you doing here?
Long story. But there was a doctor-shaped hole in this universe, and I'm from rather a different one, but you seem exactly the same. I'm so happy to see you.
Well, at least one thing didn't change. Well, I found a gray hair. But other than that, nothing's changed.
Where is everyone? River comes over. How, did it go well? Did you close the last gap in the universe?
It was not without complication. Cillian saved us all. Saved, I think, everything there is, really. But
we lost Velig and we think the Corsair, but we don't know where she went. She just sort of disappeared.
She escaped, we hope.
But
She
we
was
don't
brilliant.
know.
Oh, you would have loved it.
Maybe, yeah. We weren't that close in recent months, but
Right.
she was always a friend.
So there we are. The gap is closed, but Rassilon got away, and we almost didn't, except Roko came to our rescue.
I'm sorry about Velig. I mean, as Centaurans go, you know, he was alright.
After all
My
those sweet
final words
eulogies,
over each
just
River Song's like, he was alright, yeah.
That's where we are, actually. We're in the future Sontar.
So Rassilon is still at large,
Yes.
able to do heaven knows what with whatever residual paradox energy exists.
Jack and I can confirm that Rassilon was using a device to channel the paradox and alter the universe to his whims. It's possible that he still has that paradox stored as some kind of battery.
Hmm.
And he might still, even though he's not being recharged, he might still be able to use it.
Do we know where he is?
Gallifrey.
Right.
Does this mean we get to go to Gallifrey?
I wish that was something I could encourage you to be excited about, but
Have you seen any changes in the universe, though? Have you seen any alterations, anything returning?
since the closing of the last tour,
Yeah. Anything at all?
Not yet. We've been.
We should find out what's
we haven't-
happening.
we haven't been back.
Yeah, we haven't had time. It did not happen that long ago.
Just a quick question. Do you remember Sarah Jane?
Of course.
Do you remember her being the director of the unit quite recently?
No.
No, when did that happen?
Sarah Jane was a companion of yours, if I remember correctly.
Right.
Last time I saw her, it was with Davros. We were fighting against.
That was
She'd be so kind.
that was a while ago. That was a long time ago. Long time ago, Doctor. Before all of this.
Something we did here.
I can mention a lot of D names.
Yeah.
What?
Gonna pull Roko.
Humans are filthy.
Wait, Doctor, this is all great, but who is that?
Oh,
Jack Harkness?
Cillian, Earthman, electrician, closer of dimensional tears.
Oh,
Paradox, apparently.
You found out what that was? What that did?
Not well.
Telekinetic handshake.
No, but I'm managing to do something with it anyway. I have no idea how, but
He's something pretty special.
I'm just kind of winging
well,
it.
he looks it. What?
Doctor,
Just like old times.
River, one of you might know. If Rassilon has been using this paradox energy to make changes in this reality, if we stop him, if all of the rest of the little tears close, will things change back all of the way, the things he's done?
To be honest with you, Roko, I don't have the mind to contemplate or calculate that kind of equation.
Doctor,
It might be worth looking into, but it's hard to say. I don't know. Rassilon probably knows, and I'm sure that the archives and Gallifrey could give you more insight into that. But I mean, that is an astronomical equation. I don't know.
Doctor,
River shrugs.
he erased my planet. I want it back.
Well, let's see what we can't do about that. But I can't give you false hope. This is paradox energy. This is the fates of universes.
Well, at worst, I'm right back where I am right now. But if there's a chance to get the memory of all my species, I have to try. Please, let's go to Gallifrey.
Right. Let's make a quick stop by Earth just to get a survey of where things stand. The unit might have something that can help me to narrow down the effects of the paradox energy. And then let's go to Gallifrey.
I might have some contacts there too that could help us out.
Earth or Gallifrey?
Earth.
I mean, where don't you?
Well,
have contacts,
Gallifrey too.
honestly?
I mean, technically, you guys were part of the Resistance, so you actually might have connections with some of the Resistant fighters on Gallifrey.
Yeah.
So
do you have
there's
something
that.
in mind?
When's the last time you've been to Cardiff?
Yeah.
River just goes, no, we're going to go in the TARDIS. We're going to go where the doctor tells us to go. Be
What?
a good boy.
Oh, you think you'd take me along just to be a good boy? Come on.
You two are terrible together.
You should see us
Yes.
one-on-one.
Am I still exhausted?
Yes.
Damn it.
So wait, are we going to Earth?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you guys walk back into the TARDIS. Zeebs gives one last look over his shoulder, and everyone sort of filters in. You guys close the door, saying goodbye to your friend Velig one last time as you close the doors on ancient Sontar. And as the TARDIS pulls away, we are left just momentarily with a quiet breeze just flowing over this hillside as this has become the final resting place of one of our good friends. The grinding noise of the TARDIS surrounds you all as you fly through the time vortex. It doesn't take long for you to arrive on Earth. You arrive in your special landing zone at unit. TARDIS comes to a stop. River just goes, I hate this place. I know we're supposed to be here. I hate unit. They don't like me very much.
Sorry, what?
Several of us do.
It's really just the one.
I do have a quick question, River. Have you been to Leviathan any time recently?
Is that the space whale?
Yeah.
Not recently, no. I've been running around the universe with you. Why? Is there something I should know? Or something I should not know?
No, everything's fine. Let's go.
Right. Hey, real quick.
I take Finn aside then.
So then what are we doing about it?
If you don't want to give it back to her, that would be terrible.
I don't know if she's planted it yet, actually. She doesn't know what we're talking about.
Well, I mean, doesn't she have anti-spoilers protection in there or something? I don't know.
Maybe just for the doctor.
Well, you've read it and I haven't, so whatever you think we should do.
But really, if you don't want to give it back to her, I'm perfectly fine.
Am I being too hard on her?
Absolutely not. She needs to get kicking every now and then, I think.
Well, I don't know that I'll kick. I'm not really a kicker, but
A good tongue lashing.
Don't do that.
you are a human.
Hey, just, love you and all that.
I love you madly and profoundly. They always shall.
River walks past you at that point, and she just goes, "Get a room," she says with a slight smile. And then she...
Can I come?
Rage face Roko.
I walk right behind her.
Okay, River opens the door. Hey, Gina, actually, you know what? Make a perception check. Go ahead and roll awareness. Yeah, roll your awareness resolve. I'm going to go ahead and tell you difficulty is going to be 12.
16.
Okay. As River walks past and you have that moment, you just stop and you glance. She's got the journal on her. It's in her back. It looks like it's tucked into, but the pages do not look old the way they do in the one you're holding.
Oh.
You see it's tucked into the back belt that she's got as she walks past you. It's secured inside of a pouch. But the pages do not look anywhere near as old.
Right.
And you kind of just instinctively glance, and there's yours.
Yeah.
Same book.
Yeah. I assumed that she hadn't planted it yet, but that seems like a way different.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Right,
wibbly
what are we
wobbly.
doing on Earth?
No, that makes sense because it's not.
We're just in unit?
Yeah, we've got a unit.
Yeah, we're just going to take a look around and see if everything's. I don't even. Is everything the same as it was the last time? It changed from the way it was before.
Right, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go lay down before we, you know.
You all right?
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I just, you know.
It's you guys have been
We're
nonstop.
going to. If we're going to where we're going next, I just want to recoup, as it were.
Right.
Let's do. I'll go with you. Always.
I'm coming with you.
It's the same gathering. You'll walk out of the TARDIS. You're greeted by unit soldiers who
Kate?
are very. And Kate Lethbridge Stewart's there. She greets you again, and of course, as always, grills you on what you've been up to, what you're doing back. Real quick, we're going to continue moving forward. I just wanted to propose something, and feel free to shoot this down. But because we started 34 minutes late today, are you guys cool with skipping our break?
Yeah.
So we can get full game time in?
I'm okay.
Sam, is that cool with you?
Yes.
There you go. All right, cool. Everybody's good? All right, then we're just going to power on through because it's 1:30 and I want to make sure we get all this game in. So,
Okay.
all right. So, arriving at unit base, again, you are confronted by all the soldiers, and Kate Lethbridge Stewart comes running up to you. The frustrating thing about unit is because they do have advanced technologies, as you have noticed, they don't have really the capacity to understand when things have changed.
Right.
But they do know what you're up to. So when she comes running back, she says, "Doctor, thank God you're here." And everyone else. Oh no. She looks at you.
Hi.
Doctor, please keep him on a leash.
What? I don't do anything
Have you ever
wrong.
found that to work?
Anyway, I wanted to talk to you. We have no way of knowing if your plan is succeeding, so I needed you to come back to tell us what, if anything, has changed, since you are the only ones not affected.
Right, Cillian, you're with me. Can you just sort of give us a big overview?
Yes. Follow me.
Right.
Probably best, actually, that we step outside, onto the streets of London. I would rather you have a visual of everything that's happening, as well as, a
Right.
briefing, so to speak. We have detected there have been temporal energies at work over the past 24 hours. You can tell us if they're what we think they are.
Oh, good. That's.
So you and Cillian move off.
Anyone else wants to come is welcome, but.
All right, cool. So are you going with it? Where are you two?
I was heading back to my room.
Okay.
And I'm going with her so I can call shenanigans on her.
You guys get about 100 feet away from each other, leaving into the room and going in opposite directions. When both.
Opposite directions.
Well, yeah, because they're going outside and you two are going.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant we were going
No.
in opposite directions. I
Everyone,
was like, what?
everyone kind of breaks. But you guys get about halfway down the hall when a wave of dizziness washes over the both of you. And it just hits you suddenly. And the only way to describe it is suddenly you're finding yourself a little confused.
Oh no.
And when you look at each other for a split second, you kind of like the instinct to ask, "Are you okay?" comes over each other. And when you look at each other, Rocco, you don't know who she is. When you look at Finn, you see a face you not sure you've ever seen before. Finn, it's the same thing. You two look at each other for a split moment.
I also don't.
You for a split second, you look at Rocco, and you see a plant lizard creature that you've never come across before, looking at you just as bewildered. And there's a second, like the confusion, there's this pressing voice in your head that you should know this person. But that voice starts to get quieter and quieter and quieter as and you're not sure where you are. In fact, as memories start coming back, the last thing you remember is being on a ship. You remember sailing on a pirate ship. The two of you were kind of staring at each other for a second in bewilderment. River looks back over her shoulder and says, "We'll see you both in a moment." And then stops and looks back and goes, "We'll see you both in a moment." They really...
What the hell is going on?
How far away are we?
I'd say about 70 or 80 feet.
What on earth do I even remember?
You remember flying on your shuttle into deep space because you had picked up traces of one of these creatures that you think you were tracking. A theory that there are these reality-devouring monsters in deep space, and you finally had a chance to prove your theory correct and take that information back to Ovalcall. There is a pocket of null space that you are journeying to, and you think possibly you would have been able to get inside of it and get final readings on it, and theoretically be able to take that information back. And now you're here.
Oh, did I get into the null space? I should find my scan. My scanner code.
Also, Finn, as you're trying to process all of this, you look down in horror to see that your arm
Oh my god.
is this skeletal metal hand looking back at you. No feeling in it at all. Just cold metal as you're staring at it. The clothes you're wearing, the hallway that you're in, you just kind of flex it. You feel icy fear lance through your spine as you suddenly have no idea what is happening or where you are.
Right, that's the last time I take gin and a ghost paper at the same time. This is a dream, right?
Can we hear that?
Oh yeah,
How far away?
You were all, as everyone's turned back to watch. You watch Roko and Finn. They look like they're. Let me put it this way: the contrast is sharp because you've never seen them so distant from each other since you have come to know them.
I've slowly been backing away from Roko.
But
Finn?
you see classic signs of pure panic on Finn's face, and Roko is just in innocent curiosity mode, like, oh, kind of looking around, like, where am I?
This isn't what I expected a reality destroying
but-
beast to look like at all.
Doctor, that's not the most disturbing thing you see. It's almost like a Back to the Future effect, because as you're staring at them, you notice that both of them look like they're starting to become more and more transparent.
I start running.
Yeah, I'm gonna run towards them as well.
As you start running back towards... You see these two people, everyone starts running towards you in the hallway. As you raise up your hand, there's another wave of nausea that hits all of you suddenly. And it's like for a second, the mental...
As my hands went up to sort of hold the enemy,
Force field instinctively activates.
And blade.
Okay. You kind of stare at your hand as this energy just erupts.
Right! What the... What?
Hey! Whoa!
So, your first thought is sorcery.
Yeah.
Like, the devil is in you. You're looking at this thing as your superstitions come back as being a sailor of the sea. And then that wave of nausea comes crashing into you. There's no other way to describe it except bedlam. For a few moments, the two of you feel positively out of your minds as you feel a crashing of memories, and suddenly you are all... As you run up to them, Cillian, you get up close to them too, as everybody comes rushing back over.
Around me.
What's that?
I said they can't. I have a force field
But just the
around me.
proximity, as they come running back up, memories flood back into both of you. And suddenly you look and realize in shock that for a split second, you had forgotten everything. And when you're looking at Finn, you feel it all come rushing back, Roko. But for a split second, the two of you were total strangers, and you were slipping away.
No, absolutely no. No.
Finn, Roko, what's just happened? Put your field down. It's all right.
Whatever was right. No, you have
Whatever
to
was
break,
right about what?
You have to break it again, Doctor.
What are you talking about?
You have to. Everything's gonna go back the way it was.
I forgot.
Slow down. What's just happened?
I can't let you again.
River just goes, what in the hell is happening?
What just happened?
Shh, it's all right. It's all right.
I was back on the ship when we met, and I didn't know anything, and I didn't know how, and I forgot.
You were lost for a moment? None of this had happened?
Nothing. Everything was gone. I was back on the ship.
Finn, what is it that you know?
If we fix everything, we fix everything. Nothing that happens ever happened. You don't exist to us. You don't exist to me.
Wait. River just puts her hands up. She goes, how could you possibly know that?
That makes no sense.
Because you wrote it!
You throw the book against her chest and it just hits the floor. And just, Doctor, your instinct, you see the journal opens. And River, she looks at you and just reaches down and she doesn't look at it, but she picks it up. Why did you get this?
I thought you'd left it. I guess you...
You see River,
Thought I didn't need to know
she reaches back and she pulls out hers
that I would
and holds them up to each other.
We found it in Leviathan, in the Master's TARDIS.
You recognize it. It's the Journal of River Song. This thing...
Okay, now that's not supposed to happen. Right? That's not supposed to happen.
None of this is.
I don't know how this is possible.
Then what do you mean we need to break it?
What did I write? What did you read?
I wasn't gonna let it happen. If we kill Rassilon, it goes back. I wasn't gonna let it happen.
How? How can we? We're not Time Lords.
If we don't kill him, what happens?
Doctor, if Rassilon isn't stopped, the universe will die. I can tell
But
you that.
we closed them. Isn't that enough?
I don't know. River just says, if he still has control of Paradox, it's entirely possible that it wasn't enough. I mean, if he has the capacity to still rewrite the universe, then that will be the last thing we have to stop. But we won't know until we get there. I don't know what he's using. We've never made it inside the throne room before. And that's where he's kept the device.
The device he's storing the Paradox energy in.
He's used it like a battery to rewrite this. That's how he got rid of Roko's home planet. He literally wrote it out of existence. I wouldn't have known about it if Roko hadn't said anything.
What do we do?
Well, we have to make a choice.
Hey.
No!
Not going. Put my arms around.
So, while this revelation is coming to pass, Kate is looking at all of you and she says, Doctor, believe me, you know how much you've all come to mean to me. You've all done wonderful things for all of us, but we also have to remember that if you do not stop him, the universe will die.
Right.
Well,
It's been a wonderful journey. But I can't make the choice for all of you.
Look at me. You've saved my life and I'll save yours. Till the end of the day. Till the end of our days.
How will I find you again?
I don't doubt you'll ever will. You and that big brain, you'll find a way.
Please, don't make me choose between my planet and my world.
Right, I need you to be strong, okay? I need it. I didn't tell you because it's what's right. I know. Just I have faith that the universe won't separate a being, one being in two bodies.
Fuck this universe!
Look, this is the choice that's before us, and we'll do our best with it. But we don't have to let it make all the rules. If you're willing, each of you, we will be willing to make this choice.
There's...
But we will not stop looking for a way to change it, for a way out. I don't believe in hopeless.
Hope. You must always have hope.
Cillian, it's also starting to occur to you how this is going to affect you and Mickey. Like, all of this is starting to click.
You got a forest growing on your face. Stop crying.
I've been preparing myself for that for a while. Because...
You had a feeling?
Yeah. This whole thing has seemed to have been riding on me, and I don't really understand how, but yeah.
Zeeps just says, I don't want to go back to pirating with those bastards. I don't want to. I got to be a better person. I don't want to.
The person is in you, and it always will be.
None of us wants to go back, Zeeps, but if it's that or the end of all things,
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
and like the doctor said, we're looking for a fix for this. We're looking to make it work.
That's the key, though, Zeeps. You aren't different because we arrived. You're different because you're capable of being this person.
Right.
That won't change whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've had some friends who've had to forget. But everything extraordinary about them stays. No quirk of the universe can take that away.
Doctor, the images of Donna, the two of you standing in the TARDIS, her words, I was going to be with you. We were going to travel everywhere together. The words that she said to you before you lost your best friend that day. It's all starting to ring home again. Zeeps just nods and says, well, I mean, the least I could do is, I guess honor what I've managed to pull off with all of you. So if that means saving the universe and pressing the reset button, fuck.
Who taught you that language?
Right, that might be my fault.
Yeah, he glances over at Finn, says, just heard it somewhere. The non-BBC version of Doctor Who. Although, if I remember correctly, there's a lot more cussing in the UK than there is on TV. Isn't that true? Yeah, because in the United States, we're terrified of sex. But in the UK,
And swear
it's like,
words.
yeah, and swear words. That's bad. But violence, that's okay.
So weird.
So weird.
Yes.
But
I think we better stick together until... Why?
Yeah,
Does anyone know where that happened when you got... just now? Was it...
I got a bit dizzy.
I'm going to check the air. I'm going to check the fields around us to try and measure and see what that was.
Okay, if you spend a story point, I'll give that to you.
I will spend a story point.
Okay, so your vortex manipulator, it doesn't work like a sonic, but it will give you an idea of what's happening temporally around you in the immediate vicinity.
Right.
And as you checking it out and looking at the readings, with the story point, I'll tell you right now, it's the presence of a certain human who
Yeah.
apparently is
Yeah.
caked in paradox.
I don't need a vortex.
No,
anymore. But then
Yeah.
again, you
Got
don't know
that.
Cillian's magical. So.
You realize that Cillian's proximity is still functioning much like Rassilon's proximity would,
Right.
in that Cillian seems to have an aura of paradox around him. It's just imprinted. It looks like it looks like basically, if the universe, all evidence is pointing that this universe is realigning itself, but in the proximity of Cillian, which that proximity, judging from what you're scanning, it looks like it's remaining the way it's been around Cillian.
Got it.
No intense changes have happened, but yes, that's probably exactly why what just happened probably just happened. Is because they left the vicinity of Cillian.
Doctor, can I borrow you for a second?
Sure.
Okay. Do you know about our friend?
You might need to be a bit more specific.
The one with the temporal paradox around him?
Oh, Cillian, yeah.
Yeah, that one. What's happening with him?
We're from another dimension, is the thing. And he seems to sort of collect and concentrate the paradox energies around him. Yeah, that last... He's the reason we've closed the giant tears in the universe that were ripping all known galaxies apart. The paradox energy seems to be doing a bit... Oh, what you're saying is it's connected to this.
That's what I'm saying, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it clicks that Cillian might be a tether that's keeping you guys intact right now as the universe begins to heal.
Right, Cillian, the world's unraveling and you're the only one keeping us all together. How's that?
No pressure, right?
River goes, wow, it's funny. We've been fighting to keep the world from unraveling, and thank God you're around to keep it from raveling back up. That's strange. What a twisted joke.
You're telling me? I wonder what happens to me when this whole thing...
To any of us. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, we won't.
Oh, we won't. That's very true. Well, we should probably make preparations.
Right.
And we should probably stay close to
Stick
you.
together. Don't wander off.
Where's your armory?
Kate goes, my armory? What do you want in the armory? Aside from obviously weapons, I suppose I should be asking what for. You want to gear up?
We're going to Gallifrey.
Going to Gallifrey.
She realizes what you're suggesting and says, Doctor, if we can help in any way, we will. You can take whatever you need.
Right.
Unit is at your disposal. You might also
Alright.
want to close... You might want to say goodbyes just in case. Just in case. If there's anyone here on Earth, maybe, that you need to say goodbye to, just in case.
Roko, if this works, they will live.
River says, the doctor's right. If this happens, your entire race will be restored. They will have never gone through the tortures and the horror and the slavery that they've gone through.
But they were themselves here. They were people too, they are. We must fix this now. And we need to wreck Davros before I forget everything. I'd really rather do that.
I agree with that.
River goes, I would pay to watch that. Pay good money to watch that.
Does anyone know what will become of him if we put everything back?
You might have to do so. I mean, really, we're entering into a realm of theoretical. There's a lot of different realities that could, in truth, there's a lot of theories, some of them stronger than others, of what could happen. But in truth, the only database in the universe that has the answers are inside the throne room with Rassilon, because that's where this all was begun. The moment you saved Gallifrey in that other reality.
Alright.
All of this is happening. Well, because I tried to do something good, but one man has twisted the universe, and we will rescue every good thing from that new version that we can, but we've got to stop it, and we've got to put it back.
Doctor? You love us all. And we know that. And sometimes that makes you look for a third way, a better way. But
The monster had to kill himself because you looked for a better way that wasn't there. If there is no better way, make the necessary choice.
Zeeps says, yeah. I mean, it's a lot better than knowing that everything else stopped being. I'd rather go back to whatever it was I was doing before and all the badness than...
You hurt Leviathan though, Zeeps. I don't care where I am in the universe, I will find you.
I really hope I don't. I like him.
I won't forget you said it, but all you've done is prove that you all deserve to be saved, so I don't promise to stop looking. Do you think we'd better poke our head out on the street?
Kate says, maybe one last time, Doctor, just in case. And we could certainly use your eyes since you're all very familiar with how things have been changing. You could let us know, and we can just... It shouldn't take long.
Right. Everyone behind Cillian, please.
About 15 minutes later, all of you find yourself standing out in the streets of London. It is a rare... yeah. Ginger. It is a rare sunny day in London.
But Meat Stick is there, so we're not really that, like...
Meat Stick is right there with us?
No, Meat Stick does not follow you out.
I am not letting Meat Stick wander away.
Meat Stick is in the TARDIS. Do you want to go get him? No.
What?
Meat Stick is in the TARDIS.
Look, I can't let him be far away.
You want to go retrieve him?
No.
I'll go retrieve him.
Okay, you go back to the
Meat sticks
TARDIS.
From this
Yes, I do.
So meat sticks.
So are they.
Change into
That's
the
the point.
ginger.
Yeah.
I say absolutely not. You stay yourself.
I'll go retrieve Meat Stick.
Okay. You... Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. You walk back to the TARDIS.
Right.
As you open the door to the TARDIS, you step inside and you see Meat Stick is in the control room and says, hello.
Well, hi.
So Meat Stick, here's a description of Meat Stick.
Uh-huh.
Meat Stick is an ood. He
Ooh,
stands
lovely.
close to, I'd say he's peaking close to 7 feet, 5 inches tall, and he looks like a mutant ood. He is huge. This guy stands, he looks like a tank. You also notice that the sphere that the oob used to communicate and telepathically talk and all this other things, it's not a sphere at all. It looks like a jagged cube. It looks kind of sinister. It even glows with different colors. Everything about this ood feels wrong. Like it's been corrupted or warped or mutated. But of course speaks with that eerie politeness as this tentacled face turns and looks at you and says, hello, Captain Jack Harkness.
Oh, you know me.
Yes. I was there when you arrived.
Sorry, lots have happened. Your name again is?
I am Meat Stick.
Bet you are.
Really? Take a story point though.
Gain a story point.
Gain a story point.
Again, sorry.
Sam gives you a story point.
We have 2 giftable story points.
Oh, really?
During the course of the year.
Oh yeah, you should have my other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rocco, you have one from me.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Say, we're having a little powwow out here. Why don't you come with us?
Very well. That's the sound he makes when he walks. K9 says, I will stay here.
You
And
stay.
what-
You stay there, K9.
Affirmative.
Good boy.
You walk out with Meat Stick.
Jack, perhaps you know someone who does horrible things to innocent people.
As Meat Stick leaves the TARDIS, and Meat Stick slowly starts coming to a stop and stands there, about 10 feet outside the TARDIS, and just comes to a dead stop.
Hey, Meat Stick, we're meeting over here. What? You okay?
Meat Stick doesn't move. He just kind of looks around. You all are seeing as he's coming over, but he stops and looks around and glances over at you, Jack, and just cranes his head for a second. Identify yourself, please.
Right? So
Oh my.
Closer?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Captain Jack
Closer.
Harkness.
Looks at your hand. Says,
I'm
are you an enemy?
Depends on who's talking. And I charm him.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to be running
Oh,
over in
oh,
your
oh, oh
direction.
shit, oh shit, oh shit. You guys time moving on. Captain Jack has no idea.
Hip to you forever.
Well, I'm definitely hip to what's happening because that just happened.
Right.
So it's like, he's asking if I'm friend or foe. I'm definitely going to make him my friend.
Yeah.
Oh, this is, okay. Yeah, go ahead, make your roll. Tell me what you
I
get.
rolled. And what do I add for this?
So this is going to be your presence,
Oh, that's good.
yeah, plus your subterfuge.
13.
13. Meat stick. So what did you say to him?
I said, depends on who's asking.
Huh. Am I your enemy?
I don't think so. Especially with a name like Meat Stick. Why'd you come follow me real quick?
Very well. Yeah, and as you rush up, Meat Stick stops suddenly again. As you all run up to him. And you see the group running up to y'all.
Oh, and meet my friends!
Meat Stick stops and is like, Doctor. Hello.
You all right?
I'm feeling strange.
Yes.
Oh, this is gonna get old real quick.
Right, Meat Stick, I want you to make sure that you stay as close to Cillian as possible for the remainder until I say so.
This Ood turns and looks at you and says, very well, and walks over to you, Duncan. Cillian, you find yourself looking up at Meat Stick as Meat Stick presses his body against you, just pushes himself up,
Right, okay.
and
Okay.
reaches one of his hands around and pushes, it just puts you in a hug.
Hold on.
And
Sorry.
right when you see, as close as possible, Meat Stick starts to slowly crush Cillian for a split second.
Stop, let him go. Okay, about 1 foot behind.
Very well.
Make it 5?
We don't know how close someone needs to be.
Um,
1
you-
foot.
He stands over and
Could I
kind
have
of
him do that
steps.
to me?
Cillian, Meat Stick is looming over you now from behind.
You look mighty intimidating.
I do?
And you've got a pretty good person in your corner.
Kate just
literally.
says, Doctor, he
that's a good
cannot
point.
leave Shield.
Just stand right there.
Shield. I said
Yeah,
Shield.
I know that.
He can't leave
The
Shield.
universe has changed
Oh my
again!
god, the universe has changed again. What?
Lose
Wait,
it
wait. I'm sorry. Hold on. We're getting a text.
The
Oh, I'm being sued by Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
I mean,
Damn.
the TARDIS is
Oh,
protected
I actually did
by
get a
us.
text. Jody wants to play Changeling.
Does this work, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, it does.
In this vicinity, it does. But the moment you leave, the moment you venture farther away from the landing pad that the TARDIS is used,
Yeah.
no temporal devices are going to work inside of Unit. So if you try to jump out, you have to be in like a designated area where there's no interference.
Okay.
But Unit has a way of stopping TARDIS technology and that from actually functioning within the boundaries.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh. Unit. Okay. Okay. Doctor, I have an idea.
What's that?
Well, you might need to refuel this thing. We're by the TARDIS, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Might need to fuel the TARDIS, and I might want to say goodbye to some people and pick up a couple items at Torchwood.
Doctor, you would know this too, and I'm just gonna go ahead and make I would say, Doctor, make a knowledge. This is gonna be this would be ingenuity and knowledge. Or no, this would be ingenuity and science. Ingenuity and science roll.
24.
Okay.
Damn.
24. That's one of your best stats.
Doctor.
if I remember correctly.
Oh my god.
The moment you realize, the moment Meatstick left the confines of the TARDIS, he went into the effect of losing memories of this reality.
Yeah.
So it seems like the theory is the dimension of the interior of this TARDIS seems to be somewhat acting as a bit of a shield from what happens outside the TARDIS, at least for now. So you could conceivably leave.
But we lost it in the TARDIS.
No, y'all were in the hallway
outside
inside
TARDIS.
Unit. Yeah.
Oh, I
He thought you were
were
heading
We
for
were
a room
walking toward
inside
the
Unit.
TARDIS, but we weren't in yet.
Apologies.
Oh, I didn't realize
thought
y'all were going
on
to the
landing
TARDIS.
of the TARDIS
Oh,
that happened.
I'm
thought you
sorry.
were
I
walking
thought y'all
deeper
were
into
actually.
Unit.
I thought you were going to quarters being provided to you in Unit. That's
no,
what I
the
thought.
room in the TARDIS.
All right, we're gonna have to retcon it. So.
That's fine.
All right.
I mean,
Sorry about that.
Let
it
it be
doesn't
understood.
matter.
Yeah.
Thank
It
you.
doesn't matter from my perspective if
Yeah.
that's what
Cool.
happened.
Yeah. That's what
I
happened.
just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. So, so the TARDIS seems to be protecting from that happening.
Right. All right.
At least for now. I mean, you don't know the natures of everything, so.
Okay, well, meat stick is safe in there. And Jack, if you want to make a stop, this is our time to do it.
I mean, maybe there's something that we picked up that fell through the tear. Maybe I think we might have something at Torchwood that could help us.
I think they might have something here as well. How do you use that anti-temporal energy? I know you don't want to let her know, but it really is the time, isn't it?
Are you talking about how it is we stop the TARDIS from entering?
Yes.
It's Gallifreyan technology.
That we could possibly use on Gallifrey?
Not that I'm aware of. It's mostly an interference device that you gave us some time ago.
Wise of me, I suppose. Did you have in mind using it for infiltration, or?
I have in mind it would be a tool in the toolbox. You far more than I.
Doctor, we
would know
can
how to use
give
such a thing.
we can supply stealth technology the way we did last time. It's entirely possible. We do have, at least on record, it might be a little tricky because we don't have that extra mind working on altering.
I'm going to assume we've had this discussion, yeah.
We have, yes, but when Davros was altering the the temporal manipulators, we were able to follow his move. We were able to follow what he was doing, but not exactly. It would be tricky. It would be like learning surgery by just watching a surgeon. It's not quite the way it would work.
Right.
But we could try. And we do have her. She points to River, and River just, it's true. How could you go wrong?
I do always like to watch.
Jack, please. River just looks up at the ceiling.
Right. Anyone, any stops you need to make in London?
I have a question.
Yeah.
How's the resistance fighter doing?
He's doing all right. He's stabilized.
He's alive.
He hasn't died, no. He's not healed, but he is alive, yes.
Did you get a name out of him?
Calvin, I believe his name was?
Right.
But he's still there.
Quick out of character note. You were worried that we didn't see Calvin in our jailbreak last
Did we?
episode? There was an unnamed resistance fighter
Yeah,
who
I
came
thought-
up to Jack.
Is that Calvin?
So,
I thought it was the same person you were talking
as
about.
far as
actually.
I'm concerned,
It would probably, I mean, your characters, I mean, you did recognize him.
we
Rocco knew.
recognized him.
Yeah,
he was
no,
there
I
for a
know.
brief
But
moment.
if you're asking me out of character, yes.
I am headcanoning the ever-living, and
No,
now it's canon.
no, that,
Yay.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Glad that happened.
was Cal.
That needed to happen.
Yeah.
Strong
That
work.
was the Gallifreyan who was helping Jack stage that break.
Yay! There we go.
I just wanted to bring him back. I wanted to find out he's
Yep,
not dead.
he's
Right,
still
you
around.
should vote last episode. Like,
According to
yeah,
Kate,
yeah.
he's upstairs in he's still in the infirmary. So,
Oh, look at you.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's still kicking.
All right, so what do we need?
River just says, I mean, I just think guns, right? I mean, let's just blast our way into the place. I mean, I know you don't like that, darling, but I mean, in this case, saving the universe, and he is a bit of a prick, so it might be okay.
By the way, I like her. I like her a lot.
Why am I not surprised?
The feeling is frustratingly mutual, she says with a little bit of irritation in her voice.
Oh, now you know what that's like.
Fair.
I know what to do with frustration, but another time, kids. So, what can we do in this situation right now?
We're going to load up on everything we can, say any goodbyes we need to do, and if you need to, stop by Torchwood.
I don't think it can hurt to say hi to a few friends. And maybe a goodbye, but I don't want to talk about that. All right, let's move. Doctor?
Who has things they need to do in London?
Well, I have, but Mickey's probably here actually. So-
Wait, Mickey?
Yeah, you know Mickey?
Captain Cheesecake? Of course I know him.
What? Captain Cheesecake?
Or Mickey Mouse, I'm sorry.
This must.
Is that one of
I'm
the-
sorry. This must be something I. we didn't see each other for a long time. This must be something I'm not aware of.
Why didn't you tell me he was related to him? Of course I know Mickey. I'd like to know more, but I have to say, where is he now?
He's married, Jack. He's married. He married Martha.
Has it ever stopped you?
Martha! Martha Jones!
The very one.
Ah! Well, this is like a Hallmark commercial, I gotta say.
By the
What's
way,
a Hallmark
Hallmark,
commercial?
if you ever want to sponsor us, we do have one more episode. Let us know. Let us know.
And much like a
In the
Hallmark
comments.
card, this show will make you cry.
Make memories like RPGs. Hallmark.
Don't talk about making memories too soon.
No, keep memories.
Yeah.
Keep memories. Good. Yes. We love memories. Memories are lovely.
I totally did not mean to plug Hallmark right there.
That's fine.
Hardness plugs everything.
How do we want to play this?
Whoa!
Stop
Whoa.
Right.
Oh
Not
my
wrong.
goodness,
Not
Sam
wrong.
coming
Hey.
out of the gate. My goodness.
Jack Hardness plugs. Just drop it once. Just drop it out of character.
There you go.
But
All right.
Serious question for the group. How do we want to
Yeah.
handle this?
No. We're not going to go into Critical Role references.
No,
no,
I know
that's reference.
that's where your head went, though. I can tell.
Oh,
I think it'd be fun to. I think it'd be fun to. I think it'd be fun to drop by Cardiff, but that's just me.
I'm not trying to steer anybody out of.
What we can do is, you guys, we can say that we can break and say that not literally, but we can say that Jack goes to Torchwood, starts taking care of stuff. And if you guys, the scenes that we really need to cut to, we can work out like what you guys. We can just talk about what it is you acquire from Torchwood and what it is you acquire from Unit. Going in and put our focus on whatever it is we want to do in London and whatever it is we want to do when you're kind of surveying to see what's changed. For example, there's the old TG base. It's kind of just been like, we don't know, because Rocco brought up a very good point.
That's my stop.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what the status of that is. We don't know what the status with Mickey and Martha is. But if the universe is writing itself back to the way it was before you arrived, they may not even be. You know, they may not.
David
They may
and
not.
Rose and
See, that gets a little dicey because John is not from this universe.
all right, no,
So that's
neither is Rose.
yeah. But John, but they do predate the events that happened
Yeah.
when Gallifrey. So there's a very good possibility that John and Rose are not going to be affected, and that David is not going to be affected. As things are becoming more clear, yeah, as things that are becoming more
But
clear.
It's only rewriting since the tears, not
It's-
necessarily rewriting. It's not resetting this entire universe completely.
Right. It seems to have been ever since you froze Gallifrey in a moment of time. It seems like that's what's reverting back. But then again, it's also with the larger scale stuff, as it's been pointed out. It's hard to say because the magnitude, the scope of what Rassilon has changed, moving pieces across the board. I mean, it's one of those things where if you stop a child from buying a gumball, then the child was paying attention because he didn't have a gumball when they crossed the street, meaning they didn't get hit by the car. The driver that hit them with the car didn't like fall into a depression and like get thrown in jail. You know what I mean? Like the chain reaction from little bitty moments in time. Rassilon, being a Time Lord, has the mental power to be able to move the pieces across the board and set the universe up how he sees fit. So it's hard to say exactly what is going to revert back to and what has been changed. So you guys are once again going into unknown territory as the universe is writing itself and having to relearn where you are. And all that you've gotten from that so far is that things could change and that there may not be a place for you when they change back.
Doesn't really matter. It doesn't change what's has to be done.
But we've all agreed. We're all in.
Absolutely.
Zeep says, yeah, all in. Till the end.
This has got to happen, Doctor.
And as we know, ends are beginnings too.
I just don't... This is one of those rare moments. Zeeps pops up. He's just says, this is one of those rare moments where we have like a moment to talk, you know, because we always go and do crazy things. So I just wanted to say thank you for showing me the ocean. And you see he chokes a little bit. And he says, it was really nice. And I just wanted to say thank you for that. It was great. And I hope I remember it.
Head.
Zeeps, when you do that, Zeeps immediately just like, it's almost like a little brother. He just kind of
Yeah.
immediately puts his head on you and Rose just goes, "Oh god, this is just going to get worse the longer we delay."
Wait, Rose is there?
I'm sorry, not Rose. I'm getting all messed up on my. Yeah, this.
I was like, that would have been something.
This reality is playing with my brain. Like I don't know. Like.
Oh, is it Eric?
Yes, I have done this to all of us. It's River. Yeah, River.
I do not accept this. You've asked me to stop looking for a third way, or you've asked me to accept that there might not be one. But I'm not going to do it, you hear?
That's what got us into this mess, Doctor.
You don't know what I was...
Do I need to?
It's almost like when Roko asks that. Roko, the look in the doctor's eyes when you say, "Do I need to?" It comes back to you for a split second. But you're suddenly aware of a memory because you saw it the way the doctor saw it. You see the killing fields on Gallifrey. In your mind, you're remembering the sight of Daleks killing men, women, children as they flee. Like, you're seeing this all in the eyes of the doctor when you ask her that. Like, there's almost that... Remember that one doctor you saw? The one that didn't seem to belong? The older gentleman in the leather coat? It's the same look in her eyes when she asks... Or when you ask her.
And I look back with the fire of every memory I've ever had of Evercall.
Right. That fire, that's what I won't let go out.
If she hadn't done what she'd done, this past 11 years wouldn't have happened.
If she hadn't done what she'd done, I wouldn't have the pain of losing you.
You won't. A mind may forget, but a soul never does.
I know, which is why I'm going to find you. And it's why we're not going to muck this up.
You're so stubborn.
I learned it from you. I learned it from watching you, Finn.
It's true.
If I'm wrong, if
I
there's
learned
no third
And
way,
I
then...
would like to say, you're welcome.
If I'm wrong, if there's no third way, then fine. This conversation never happened. But time and space, I'm not having it with you this time. We're fixing you, we're putting you back, and we're keeping the things we want. We will find a way. Let's go.
Yeah. Except that one weekend in July of 1965. Can we erase that? That was just a bad weekend.
Let's talk to Cillian about that.
What?
He's magical.
Fixing things, not the weekend.
Oh, I was going to say, how old do you think I am?
All right.
TARDIS.
Yes. TARDIS.
So
Very
the
good.
streets of London, as I was describing, it's a rare, clear day.
Not like full of Cybermen or anything.
Not full of Cybermen.
Okay, good.
Drawing.
Yeah, I made Roko turn back into an overcall, by the way.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
So what does Coco look like?
Lizardy kind of
Lizard.
Groot.
So
What?
Lizardy kind of Groot.
Kate,
Oh, but when you change, what do you look like?
Kate immediately, you see her look up and she pulls something out of her. It looks like she pulls down a sleeve and pulls something out, like a little docket, and just enters a few buttons. And all of you see around you, suddenly the world just kind of just ripples for a second, just and you see people just keep walking by, and she stops and goes, "I'm sorry, but I can't have you walking around the streets of London looking like yourself. It'll start a panic, and I don't need a riot or a mob attacking us while we're trying to look around."
Are you suggesting a mob is going to attack us?
They're humans, Finn. Just like the rest of us.
Humans are also a bit oblivious.
Yeah, but when they're startled, they can be a bit... What have you done? Are we hidden?
I've got another 2 minutes before this cloak wears off.
Right, let's go.
All right, 2 minutes of sanities then.
All right, so you guys move along.
Get some lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roko needs the sun!
I'm sorry. 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
2 minutes.
You know, okay,
That's a
here's-
quick lunch.
Here's the problem. I drank water instead of coffee before the game. That's the problem.
Got it.
Okay.
Timey-wimey.
No,
Timey
you're
wimey.
ripping all of our heartstrings to teeny tiny pieces.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Do you know how many pencils?
Yes, I know. I cringe. My D&D self cringes every time I see the death of a pencil, but
You know.
But it's for a good
easy way to
cause.
fix that. All right. TG base.
So, moving through the streets, you all approach the TG base. It doesn't take long, but it looks like London is just looks normal here. It doesn't look like Kate, upon being pressed, she does bring up the Cybermen invasion that happened some time ago, that the public has largely kind of dismissed from memory, thanks to Unit and because the public. But she does bring up that aspect that took place when you originally left Arose on the beach in Bad Wolf Bay. So that much looks like has returned to normal. But as you all approach the Ovacall, the TG base, you're confronted once again with a normal-looking building and workers going in and out. It looks like a store. It looks like you see a truck out in front, like one of these big produce trucks, and you see people loading what looks like bananas and like lettuce into the back. Older gentleman is just like shoves a box into the truck, and they're like talking about last night. They're having this random conversation as y'all are approaching. But the building itself looks like it's just a building with a big garage opening.
Roku, can you reach them? Are they somewhere else or are they not here?
I'm still very tired. Perhaps we could just go in for the briefest moment.
Of course.
Um,
Hello? Excuse us, we're here to take the building tour.
Dr. Kate holds up the thing. She's like, until I turn this off, they're not going to be able to interact with you.
Oh, right.
all right.
Well, they can't see we're here, so let's just go in.
Yep. Here we go.
Kate says, it would be a lot easier if we didn't have to pack ourselves in. And by the way, I'm guessing you guys left Meat Stick in the TARDIS. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
you talked us into it.
Kate says, I really don't feel comfortable using this out on the street. If Roko, if just for a moment, it would be incredibly helpful if I didn't have to activate this.
All right. Get all cute and ginger.
Well, you know where I got the idea for ginger? I don't know.
I always have an idea.
That's
All
what
right.
just happened, is Roko's turned into a redhead.
Roko,
Oh,
yeah.
Roko shapeshifts, basically.
Yeah, I'm a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
So
Now looks like a human.
Do that more often.
Roko just went from attractive to so in your eyes, Roko basically just went from attractive to attractive.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So
The different attractives. Oh.
the cloak drops. No one seems to notice or be aware, and as you all approach, one of the workers stops and goes, "Hello, help you with something."
Yes, we've got an appointment.
Appointment with who?
Your boss.
Oh, I didn't know she made appointments. Go on in.
Thanks.
He just goes back to. You walk inside. It is a big warehouse. You see pillars reaching up. This place looks like the building, for the most part, is a storage facility. It looks like crates have been stored here. Produce that's like coming and going. You see an office a few floors up on a catwalk, and in that office you see the blinds have been pulled up, and there is somebody working inside along with somebody else.
Humans, everything looks normal.
Everything looks normal.
Right, did I get my psychic paper back from the bank heist?
In fact, not.
You can use mine.
Unless we declare.
Yeah.
So can I just look at some of the humans around?
Sure.
Do you want to borrow mine?
Can I
you
make
just show them
some
our
kind of
papers,
a roll to see whether or not they're shapeshifty overcall?
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah, you
What
can
kind of
sort
roll
of.
is that?
It's more of a story point because you're using psychic power at this point.
I mean, or I would be sort of like, looking to see if they're shapeshifty overcall. Just like visually.
perception?
I've
I've asked Jack to show them our papers.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I pull out my
Health inspecting papers.
Yeah.
Health
the
inspecting,
psychic
yeah.
paper. And just,
Oh,
oh
my
yeah,
psychic-
yeah. Go on in, take a look around. If you need anything, let us know.
anything. Thank you.
I mean, sure. Yeah, story point. Great.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So, y'all are standing in this warehouse, looking around, and Roko, you're feeling a little bit better. Feel a little bit. It's not 100%. You're probably at about 45 to 50%.
Oh, I'm feeling better at psychic.
Yes.
I was like, nothing about this feels better.
Psychically, you're feeling a little regenerated, so to speak. You're feeling kind of like, okay, it's starting to really come back. And as you kind of, you narrow your eyes for a second, sort of reach out just to get impressions or feelings. Everyone in this building is human, and there's no indication that Ovakali have ever been here.
Kate, do you remember this being a TG base?
It's worth checking.
No. Was this a TG base?
Oh,
And
God.
what was the last time? When did that happen? Is that something that's changed?
We closed it down. It was full of overcall.
Right, well, all that means is that maybe Overcall exists right now.
Does overcall exist?
I don't. That's Doctor. You're the one that travels the galaxy, not me.
Right.
Can we check the TARDIS?
Yeah. I think we'd better.
There's a. At that point, when you said, "Can we check the TARDIS?" You notice somebody standing outside, about maybe 45 feet away, kind of like leaning over and looking at all of you curiously. And he stands out because he's a gentleman, maybe early to probably about I would say probably mid to late 20s. And he's kind of leaning out and looking in your direction, but he's wearing a business suit with a trench coat. He's got a briefcase. He looks like a banker or something. But he's kind of just leaning over and looking at all of you. And he does not look away when you all notice him. He just kind of keeps looking and staring in at you all. But he's very peculiar.
Do I notice him?
Yeah, everyone notices. He doesn't look. You don't. I would actually. No, I'm gonna switch that. He's probably early 20s. A young man with a nice square jaw. He looks like he's just kind of. Looks like he's in decent shape. There is something vaguely familiar about him, Doctor, but you don't know exactly who it is. It's just a guy who looks like he's poking his nose in. And you see one of the workers who's loading one of the boxes stops and says something to him, and he just does this. And the worker shrugs and just goes back to putting boxes into the truck.
Can I help you?
I think so.
Captain Jack Harkness.
Luke,
Nice to meet you, Luke.
nice to meet you.
What are you doing here?
You know, I don't really know, but you seem familiar to me. He points to you.
Hello, Luke.
I don't know why, but I just knew to come here, and I knew you were going to be here.
Doctor, do you recognize him?
Feel we may have met, but I don't know when or where. And I've had a lot of whens and wheres.
This is going to sound strange.
It seems.
Don't. I know you must think I'm crazy, but
Oh, you'd be surprised.
I think I'm supposed to give you something.
Is that so?
I woke up this morning. You must think I'm mad. And I'm sorry if I'm weirding you out. I really am. I promise I'm a level-headed bloke. I don't.
We are a level of weird you cannot comprehend. Do not worry about it.
Luke. Keep going.
I don't know how to explain it, but I just knew that whoever you are, you would be here, and that I should give you this. And he goes into his trench coat and he pulls out an envelope and says, "It means a lot to me, but for some reason I think you should have it. I wish I could explain. I really don't know why, but
Where did you get it?
I've had it for years. But for some reason I feel like you should have it."
Hello, Luke. I'm the doctor.
Doctor Who?
Just the doctor.
Oh. Well, he hands it to you. Luke.
Thank you.
You open the envelope and you pull out an old black and white picture of Sarah Jane.
Where did you say you get this?
It was my mother.
Sorry?
It's a picture of my mother.
That's where I remember you.
Have we met?
Where is she?
Well, my mother died a few years ago.
No. But
She died in her sleep. But
flying tackle hug.
he just kind of flinches. You tackle him, and he just you see he kind of like looks at all of you and it's like,
A level of weird, dear.
I'm having a strange morning. I'm just kind of. What's up?
So wait, so I'm confused in timelines. Haha, Doctor Who.
Welcome
But-
to the game.
So then, like, Journey's End and Dr. Donna, did that all happen? Or is that complete?
Hard to say, but in this universe, it looks like things have worked a little differently. For example, in this game, Sarah Jane was in charge of UNIT, and Luke had died.
Yeah.
Jesus, okay.
That-
And
At
now all of a
first.
sudden, things are
And
being
then later,
righted.
Kate was the head, and
Okay.
Jane
And
wasn't
then
around.
Sarah was suddenly gone, and nobody remembered Sarah ever being in charge of UNIT, because the universe is doing this.
Okay.
So,
I was just wondering. I was
Yeah.
just wondering from the Jack timeline because
from this Jack timeline, you're familiar in this
And you get
universe.
to kind of make that up because we're
Yeah.
in the Peterverse. We're in the where I left Rose and the Meta Crisis,
Yes.
which hopefully
Remember?
explains-
Yeah. So
Okay.
So remember Bad Wolf Bay?
Totally.
Okay, that's this universe. This is the
That's
universe.
the Jaguar.
This is the universe where
Ah.
and then and to make matters even more convoluted, to make matters even more convoluted, this universe is being rewritten by Rassilon. So all bets are off. So you basically have to do what a lot of guests who have come on the show have done, which is you lean across the table and you go, "Wait, so would I know this?"
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're always that happens a lot.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I'm rolling with it. All right.
Jack does remember Sarah Jane, if nothing else, because you know that the Doctor traveled with Sarah Jane.
Okay.
And in his past, you're aware that Sarah Jane had a child.
Yeah.
But you had no idea. But this is a
Right.
full-grown.
You know, the
Luke
timeline
Smith.
met him when he was 14. Now it's never met.
Now this guy's in his mid-20s. His name's
Okay.
Luke Smith. And as you look back at him,
Brother
you realize the reason why he looks familiar is because you kind of remember the facial features of that young boy you had seen from when Sarah adopted him. So
Ah.
it's kind of you just kind of looking back at him, and there it's Luke. All right, that's where you knew him from. So he looks at you.
You've grown up. You look wonderful.
Yes, I did what people do, I guess. I'm. You seem to know me. I don't remember you, but I had the strangest feeling that I should give that to you, and I don't know why, and I don't know how I knew you would be here.
I get that feeling all the time, Luke.
I'm gonna. Doctor, can I see that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the picture and I'm gonna see if focusing on it does anything.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to change.
What?
I'm trying to change her fate. I'm trying to see if that's something I can do.
Okay. What are you trying to change her fate to?
That she doesn't die.
So that she's still alive today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't think that's possible, but I want to try.
Damn right you are.
Ripples. Oh god, I'm so proud, but also so scared.
Okay. You hold the picture up and start looking at it. I'm going to need you to spend some story points for this.
How many? 2?
Well, you're bringing...
I'm gonna bring it in.
No, this would be 7.
7.
Have my other story point.
Right?
Reward.
7 story points.
Wow.
Okay.
You take the picture and you focus on it. And, Doctor, it takes you a moment to realize what's happening, but all of a sudden around you, you see reality start to... It's like you're near one of those
Cillian?
temporal rips. And you see, suddenly, everyone just slows to a stop. And you continue to focus, and there's this low kind of, like, rumble. Like, the universe is... It almost feels like the universe is groaning under the weight of Cillian's will. And Jack, everyone who's close to him is actually watching. It's actually a little terrifying. But you watch suddenly as he's frozen in time too, looking at you, and you watch him as he just begins to fade from existence.
Cillian, stop!
I'm not hearing you.
The world around you see suddenly this. You see metal pillars begin to grow up. You begin to see this building begins to slowly morph into what. It takes you a second as you're looking around, but you're watching a temporal guard base begin to sort of like creep back into existence. You watch everyone that's loading the dock. All of a sudden, these people just bleed away from reality like they never existed. And all of time begins to shift to accommodate this new decision in fate. as suddenly variables are being reintroduced into the universe that it did not prepare for. And Doctor, feeling the turn of the universe, you are aware right now that millions and millions of life forms all across the universe are blinking out of existence. And that weather patterns, histories, decisions, everything are suddenly being warped. And little things like this just happening, like plucking a thread, has actually caused this huge shift in reality. And slowly that picture fades from view.
Oh man.
And Duncan, like, it takes a few moments, but when it's all done, like a blackness encompasses all of you, and then it just bleeds away, and you guys are inside. It looks like you've seen this room before. It looks like some kind of storage facility. You're kind of looking around, and all around you, you see row after row of harvested organs.
Oh man.
Cillian, stop!
As you start coming out of it, Cillian, you kind of blink for a second. You're feeling a little bit of an exhaustion come over you, and you're hearing this ringing sound in your ears. But you realize you're actually not holding a picture anymore. And there's paradox that's sort of pulsing off of Cillian. And the room y'all are in, you just see Corsair labeled on these tanks. And you're like a liver inside. And you're inside the TG base again. Who knows when or how or what the status of the TG base is, but it's very unlikely the Ovacali were going to allow this storage facility to exist while they were in control of it. So as you kind of warping it back, you're all inside.
Shit.
And all of a sudden you hear like an alarm going off.
Am I there? Or am I...
Yeah, you're all there.
Oh, okay. What the hell just
Cillian, what have you
happened?
done?
Kate says, Where are we? What's happened?
Doctor?
Cillian, what have you done?
I have no idea, Doctor.
Precisely!
I was just looking at the picture, seeing if I focused on it, I could change something. And
What were you
all
trying
of
to
this,
change?
I was trying to bring her back.
That's an immense amount of power that no one is supposed to have.
I didn't know I could really do it.
Why would you try?
Of course he tried, but you can't. You're not Rassilon. And God help us if you are.
Right, I'm having none of this. That's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep the good things. Remember?
Look where we are. We can't, Cillian, we can't.
Harvested organs don't look like a good thing, last time I checked. Appropriate.
River, who's seeing this, just goes, "Oh my god! I mean, I knew, but I didn't know." And she's just looking row after row of the harvested organs of the Corsair, and it's being fed energy to keep the regeneration cycle alive. And each one of these fleshy like rips. It's just it's horrifying. And you guys are starting to hear a lot of commotion outside too.
Cillian, I'm sorry. I understand. If your heart were any smaller, you wouldn't be the man we know you are. But we can't. We've got to put it back.
Okay, I'm gonna attempt now to actually return it to the way it just was.
How many story points do you have?
I have 6 story points.
I know you can do it.
You can burn 6.
I know you can do it is the specific phrase on the ability to give, I think, you can do it. I know you can.
Burn
Give somebody else
burn 6 story points.
story
What?
points.
That'll take you down to 0.
Should we explore this outside? Should we explore this?
Where-
Where
I'm still
where
fighting
are
this.
we? Where are we?
Yeah, well, when?
She
are
looks.
we?
when are
River,
we?
River
When
looks
are
at you and says, "We're in the belly of the beast, Jack. This is a temporal god base. We're in enemy territory. In any moment now, temporal god's going to come in here and kill all of us.
Wasn't that what we wanted to
On Gallifrey, perhaps, but here we're going to be helpless. If they corner us in this room, there'll be nowhere to go. We'll be shot dead on sight."
In this reality, though, Sarah Jane's alive, right?
She looks at you. If you willed it to be so, I suppose.
So
But that altered
We
the
don't
course
know
of everything
where
else.
She is either.
The security mechanisms inside this base are, unfortunately, very sophisticated.
Well, how sophisticated could they be?
You open up your vortex manipulator, and it has no power.
Nothing, huh?
River goes, those won't work inside the base, remember? No, you weren't here for that.
Well,
They have to be specially designed.
what if this is a specially designed one? And I'm going to spend a story point because I have gadgetry.
Okay.
And I'm going to blink us out of here if I can.
Can you carry all of us with yours?
You can
everyone just touch me.
You can, okay, so just so you know, this will be good for short hops.
That's just what you want.
You can do a short hop.
Drat, you found my plan.
You can do hops with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can hop. How far can we hop?
Well, you going to the future or the past?
Oh, just stay
Are you
in the-
just teleporting?
Just, yeah,
Where are
teleport.
you teleporting back to?
What would be a place? I'm gonna ask the doctor about this. Doctor, give me a plate. I kind of want to take us back to Torchwood, but that's just my gut instinct.
Yeah. Landing room outside unit.
What?
Landing room outside unit.
Landing room outside unit, probably, because that's where the TARDIS was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take us back there, so we can at least figure this out when we're not being planned to be killed.
All right.
Right.
You all grab Captain Jack.
Everybody, hold me tight.
Are you okay with that?
I hope.
This is okay.
Everyone grabs hold. You get crowded, and you press a few buttons. Go ahead and just burn 2 story points, and you guys make a quick, jarring leap through the time vortex, clutching to Jack Harkness, and you reappear inside the landing zone to a horrible sight. Because as you arrive, the TARDIS is here, and as you arrive, you all just kind of look up. The unit guards, what you see in place of unit guards is row after row after row after row, stretching all the way back to the back of this hangar. Cybermen. From the front to the very back, probably close to about 500 to 600 Cybermen, who all, in perfect unison, just turn towards all of you. It looks like they were in the process of surrounding the TARDIS, and now you are all surrounded by a legion.
Force field.
And they all, 500 or so Cybermen, talking in unison. The Doctor is detected.
Are they between us and the TARDIS?
No, y'all are right in front of the TARDIS's doors.
Let's
Right,
get
Get in the doors.
You hear the unison of guns coming up. You will be upgraded, and you
Not
slam
today!
the
Hell,
door.
I will.
Too late. Nice.
As y'all run into the TARDIS, K9 comes rushing over, going, "Master, Master!" And then the TARDIS begins to shake as legions of Cybermen open fire on the TARDIS, and the whole TARDIS begins to just. Where are you going?
Anywhere but here!
Anywhere but here.
Go Carter.
Destination, I don't give a damn. You slam down the thing, and the TARDIS goes into the time vortex.
Last Cyberman I met was so much better.
Okay, before we move anywhere,
Oh,
Doctor. So what reality are we in, and where are we going?
Right.
I wish we could answer that, but we don't really know, because I don't really know. All I did was reverse one thing.
Look, Sparky, you do that, it changes everything.
Don't.
Stop yelling at Cillian!
Don't call me that. Don't call me that.
He just changed everything by looking at a picture. I've never seen anything like that before. And now we're traveling in a universe, and you know this and they don't, that has no ends, no beginnings, and we don't know where we are.
River says, "Can you undo it?"
I can try.
Try.
you have to.
All right. And well, I'm gonna. I don't know what to focus on.
Whatever, River says, focus on the picture again. Whatever moment it was before.
Think of Luke handing us
Okay.
the picture.
Think of Luke.
Okay.
So you burn your 6 story points.
All my story points.
Doctor,
I was trying to give him story points using that mechanic.
I'll let you do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to get it back to the way it was, because 6 is not 7.
Okay.
So you give him the extra one. You feel yourself drain as you're focusing. Doctor, the time vortex begins to warp and shift suddenly. The TARDIS, you hear the alarms going off in the TARDIS as all of reality is shifting while you guys are flying through the temporal
Right.
the vortex.
Probably all right.
A few moments later, your destination switches, and you land. The TARDIS lands.
Did we do it?
River just says, "There's only one way to really find out."
Right.
Nonsense. There are tons of ways to find out, but we'll use one.
Where are we?
You pull the monitor around, and you see the streets of London outside,
Full of Cybermen?
full of people just walking, going about there every day.
When are we?
According to the TARDIS time matrix, you are about 2, maybe 3 minutes after you see. It's hard to tell because when you jumped from the,
How about I have the picture back in my hand?
it's not in your hand.
It's not in my hand.
No, it doesn't reappear in your hand
Okay.
in the TARDIS. But you were a few minutes after when you guys teleported back to. So conceivably, in your linear timeline, it's only been about 5 minutes. So probably about that's when you guys landed, and y'all are outside the TG base, or now it's a warehouse
Luke
again. It looks like you see people loading fruit into a truck.
So if time out. So we're just figuring out time.
Yeah.
Real quick. So wouldn't it, should it be better that we end up there 5 minutes before that all happens so that it makes sense in congruency, or it's 5 minutes after because then
Best not to arrive before it happened
okay.
and stopping it. Do you know what I mean? Because that's
Never
running
did
in.
happen.
That's
Oh.
running
After
into yourselves,
means that we don't run into past selves.
which could
Okay.
start a paradox.
We're
And
good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's okay.
by the way, for anybody interested in playing this game, there's an entire chapter that deals with paradoxes and contradictions and stuff like that in the game. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
Any sign of... So there's no sign of Luke.
Actually, when you open, are you opening the doors to the TARDIS? Or, yeah, when you open the doors to the TARDIS, Luke is standing there, and he's about 10 feet away, and he's looking in the warehouse like he was looking for you guys, and it looks like he's a little confused.
Luke Smith?
Yes. Is that a police box?
Sort of.
What are you doing? Because I have to ask, because if you're poking your head out of the TARDIS, how much can he see in? And are you stepping out? Like, what's happening here? Because he turns and looks at you as he responds.
I open the door and poke my head out. Luke Smith?
Yes.
Let me give you a hug.
Fine. You hug him and says,
Did you have something for me?
I don't care with being hugged.
I'm the
did.
doctor.
Most of us.
yes. Yeah, I had this. And
Weird
he
is
pulls out an
normal, don't
envelope and he says, sorry, it's a bit strange, but somehow I knew to be here.
Thought about it this morning, had the envelope a long time.
Yes, almost like I've done this before. And I don't know why, but I knew to be here so that I could give you this. And he hands you the envelope. I can't explain it.
I open it again.
There's a beautiful black and white picture of Sarah Jane, and she's the spitting image of the woman that walked out of your TARDIS that day you parted. Not the time that you've run into her afterwards, but literally the young woman who traveled with you.
Yeah.
All those years.
I'm sorry I left you behind.
Sorry, did you know my mother?
She's a pretty remarkable woman.
She was interesting, that's for sure.
She never talked about it. The doctor, the TARDIS.
Every now and then she would say something about a doctor. But when I would press her on it, she wouldn't want to tell me for fear, according to her, of me wanting to run off into the four winds to do whatever. And
Would you like to run off into the four winds?
what do you mean? Do you mean sailing?
If there's still a world, I'm going to see you again.
I hope there's still a world, and you seem pleasant enough.
Your mother was an extraordinary woman.
Thank you. I loved her very much, and she was a bit of a mystery to me sometimes, but she was always... Sorry, it's weird that I'm just confessing all of this to you, but for some reason it just feels like it's okay. I hope it's not weirding you out.
Not at all.
Well, time can be strange. I've got to go. It was nice meeting you, Dr.
Just the doctor.
Luke Smith.
Luke Smith.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
And he walks on.
Cillian, I'm sorry. Thank you for trying.
I'm sorry too. I just wanted to put things right, but I guess it's more complicated than I understand.
It's a bit complicated, yeah.
Kate says, I think I'm going to get back to the office and try to forget the most horrifying moment of my life.
The Kate I know wouldn't forget it. Help us fix it.
You seem to have fixed it. I'm of course talking about the image of 500,000 Cybermen trying to kill me.
Right. So the place we just were, which everyone remembers?
I
Yes.
certainly remember it.
Right, that was the TG base we were looking for. It was here. There were enslaved Overcarly running it, and we rescued the Corsair from their jail cells where they were harvesting her organs.
I don't know who the Corsair is. I'm sorry.
Oh, won't that be fun? Don't worry about it. Keep your valuables locked up tight. Right.
Kate says, Doctor, it's just my job to make sure that Earth is fine. And I trust you, of course. Anything you need from UNIT is yours. But I think I've had my fill for the day, and I'll leave this to the Time Lord and her companions. If you need anything else, please let me know.
Right.
But I need some whiskey.
You would get along with the Corsair.
Kate says, try not to get into too much trouble, and feel free to come back to UNIT whenever you're ready to supply up.
Excellent.
And she walks away. Puts her hands in her pockets in this typical Kate Lethbridge Stewart fashion and begins to stomp down the sidewalk in a very got things to do fashion.
If we bring Sarah Jane back, she's dead. Right.
How do you do this? How do you choose one over the other like this? I mean, you, Doctor. How do you do it? How have you been doing it all of these years?
That's the key. That's not our choice. We do what we can to heal the universe. To save everyone we can. But once you decide, you get to choose who lives and dies. Nothing good comes of it.
I can see that quite clearly now. I won't be jumping into anything like that again, I assure you.
Well, that's why
I'll consult with all of you before I ever do anything like that again.
Maybe just don't.
Well, I may have to. Let's be honest here.
River's like, it's true.
I may have to.
If nothing else, if we run into Rassilon and he's altering the universe, then Cillian might be our only chance to stop him from altering the universe. It's a lot
Despite
of...
what they're all saying, I think you did brilliant.
Thank you, Finn, but I'm not so sure myself.
you get to decide what you want to do with that power. That's what I think you'll make different choices because you're not him.
Right.
Please
Don't
don't
worry,
erase
I'm
me,
not
though.
going rogue on you.
I quite like existing.
So, where's this Rassilon? Gallifrey, right?
The mouth of the lion.
Well,
It's
Anyone
glad to see
else?
what the not prison parts look like.
Doctor, are we really doing this? Are we going to go in? Because if we are, I can try to go ahead, Jack and I, and we can try to organize the resistance. You know, there were a lot of TGs, but the Corsair did, as you've said, destroy a lot of them. And we have, over the years, whittled the numbers down. We might actually have a chance of charging the throne room.
Let's knock that pompous monster off his throne, shall we?
Right.
Doctor, before the pin drops, find me. Give this to me, if I forget. The TARDIS is protected from paradox, right?
So far.
So maybe that will be too. So I can remember. So I can find you. Now let's go and get this bugger.
Zeebs is like, that's the most vulgar thing I've ever heard Roko say. I'm just saying.
Not me.
Maybe only.
You weren't here earlier.
One by one.
Quick question. Can we have a meetup where we're not saving the universe? I'm just throwing that out there.
I don't know that the doctor has that kind.
Ah,
I'm always trying to have picnics. It only sometimes works out.
There was that one time with the Winchester.
This
I'm
is
sure
this
I'll
is
be
the conversation.
available when this is all done.
This is the conversation happening is one by one. The Doctor, Jack, Roko, Finn, Cillian, Zeeps. You all step back into the TARDIS, and the door closing, and the grinding sound as all of you depart to the final confrontation.
Bye, Mickey.
You leave London behind, and the way you've known it in this reality, knowing full well that John, David, and Rose are also depending on you. Everything that's happened, everything comes down to this on our next episode. And that's where we're stopping today.
May I add, if I need to spend some points for it, I don't have the heart to run around and say a bunch of goodbyes, but can we just pop in and
You want to pull a 10 before his
a
regeneration?
little bit?
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
need to see them.
Sure.
Are they all here?
You once again find if there's any indication that the universe is coming apart at the seams, John, David, and Rose have no clue. You stand next to your TARDIS by a tree, 300 feet away, watching them at a park. And John has apparently learned, or David has apparently learned how to crawl. Like he's moving around on his own now, crawling over to the two of them. But you're watching as the family is doing their family thing, but it's completely peaceful and serene. You find yourself standing in front of the grave of Sarah Jane. It looks like Luke keeps it beautifully. He's always bringing flowers to it. She has a strange little symbol on her tombstone. It looks like, at first glance, you kind of lean in and scoop some of the dirt away from the imprint, but it looks like it might actually be a ship with full winds in its sails. And one by one, you kind of go to the old stomping grounds, looking at this universe, this place that you're not sure you ever belonged in, but it still has so many of the familiar places. You see, you manage to stop by Donna's place and see her doing her thing. Married life seems to be treating her very well. She's remodeling her place, and her husband are having a fight, which ends with the two of them throwing cake at each other's face, kind of thing. So she's doing quite well. But one by one, you kind of make the stops until, and you managed to, we'll say you managed to actually get to visit Mickey, who's terrified for you, and he gives you the picture of him and Martha to take with you. You all, one by one, make your rounds with all the people that have been imprinted upon you as you load into the TARDIS, preparing for your final journey into what, one way or the other, will be an end.
From the beginning.
And then that's where we'll stop for today.
Wasn't Luke hot?
So then
Filthiest of all.
we have like 1 minute left, so I'm just going to close out by saying next episode is our final episode of TBD RPG. It'll be the last episode of our Doctor Who arc where everything has been building to this moment. So if you guys have been following us or following the VODs, this is going to be the one to watch. So please tune in. Hopefully we'll get some familiar faces jumping in. As always, we'll see you next Friday as well, Captain Jack. Thank you so much for jumping in.
Thanks for having me back.
Everyone loves Captain Jack.
Thanks for having me back, guys.
Dylan Tobel.
This is pretty cool to just come back and thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Thank you
my
for
pleasure.
everybody. The Twitter was incredible.
That was the best, man.
Yeah.
God, it was.
So,
thank you so much. So
having said that, we're going to close out now. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to our first from last game. Thank you so much for your patience. We know it's a pain in the ass when we have technical difficulties, but thanks for sticking around and checking it out. And we'll see you next Friday for our final episode of Eric's TBD RPG
It's gonna be good.
and the Doctor Who arc. So tune in then. And stay tuned for Brick Battles.
What? What's going on?
You're legitimately the most terrible.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Duncan, that was
Love
so
it.
good.
I'm sorry.